Hello everyone, I am Tacit and welcome to the Gems of War 1000 Volky grind. So of course we're going all the way from 0 to 1000. Currently we're sitting at almost 300 I believe, because we have not that number here, but 246 here plus pity course over here. Today we're going to be running almost purely Palooza. Okay, we have 37 over here, so almost. That brings us to what, 280 approximately, exactly actually. So yeah. Our goal is to get to about the halfway point, which is, you know, about doubling what we currently have. However, we're pretty much just running straight Palooza tonight, so it shouldn't be that hard necessarily to do. That'd be like, what, 2-ish, 3-ish hours of Palooza. Of course, we'll still clear out all the other dailies and everything else along the way. But basically, our goal is to hit about the halfway point. And then on our mega stream for the 7-year anniversary tomorrow of the channel, we'll be going and finishing off the other half. Since we're going to be streaming pretty much all day from 10 to 10. That is the game plan. And if it's some time between streams, I'll also try to get some more verses, as we are a bit short, I believe, to completely finish it out, assuming we average about 20-ish, and of course we could get a little unlucky, though Pity could cover it some. But in order to do so, I believe we need about 10, 15, 20-ish more verses. Let's see, about how many? If we end up getting to... Yeah, I think we have to farm like 18-ish more verses, it looks like. Which means we'd have to find one almost every single hour. Which, you know, that can definitely happen. When we're grinding for some of those, we could find multiple in an hour. Because the actual amount of Paloozas we have to open, I believe, is about 8-ish hours after today. So, yeah, we're still going to be like a few hours short of like how much resources we even have to open. But should be pretty close. And we are going to go all the way down to 0 if we have to, which we definitely will need to in order to cover it for sure. But anyways, let's start all the dailies and then kind of go from there. Obviously, most notable one, we got the spring event still going on. I want to make sure we have enough for the spring armor tomorrow. So we'll have that to go wear all of tomorrow. Probably the first thing we actually do on tomorrow's stream, just so we can wear the armor all day. Anyways, let's go and clear out these battles. We're still using the truffle team, and it's still been working, so I haven't had a need to change it. It's been using the old time. Hello, everyone. Hope you guys been having a wonderful weekend, as well as a lot of luck with the event. Hello, Bill. Hello, Lester. Hello, Easy Breezy. How goes the grind? Pretty good so far. Hello, Bill. Hello, Cookie. Hello, Tyrion. Hello, Supernova. Hello, Zik. And hello, everyone else. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, let's get into things. Let's go take our explosion. Get our other explosion. A little unlucky on the cascade there. Go for another explosion. Come on, get your mana already. That should be good to go. I'll throw down Truffle. Could have taken the skull on top as well. Guess what? Another explosion. And then we take it out. Oh, do you have spell reduction? I don't remember. I know there's like one annoying thing from Wild Plains it does. Let's see. We'll take this one. I was like, you bought to click on the golden battles there. Unfortunately, you only ever get one. They act the same as any other battle, though. It's just like 10 extra points in a sigil. Not really that needed. Though it does, if you buy the 5 times, you do skip the need to go to the get the gold pet. It's not really that worth it. I'm not sure anyone who really does. Like, you can. It definitely does skip some of the process and allows you to get all the rewards pretty much immediately, which I'm pretty sure is like the main thing people do it for. It's basically like 2 weeks early access to all the rewards. Because if you had that many extra sigils from buying the tier 10 thingy, not only do you not need to get the golden pet, but you also kind of just bypass a lot of the like the need for the sigils because you just kind of get them all immediately plus 10 per battle. But I would say that's like the main reason you would end up getting it. Good old early access to it all. I don't mind waiting 2 weeks. Because we got we normally get the legend by the Wednesday, the armor by the Sunday, which we'll have tomorrow, and then the rest just kind of trickles in. Because we get the most important thing first, of course, the troop, and kind of just work around from there. Yeah, let's go for... Gosh, why are you just not doing enough damage? We need to replace out our team. This is mostly the budget team, so I wanted it so like anyone can end up using it, but it is starting to fall off slightly. It's because we don't have infinite loot truffle available for this event. So it does get a little bit less value than it normally would. Once it gets going like that, it's nice. Problem is getting it to that point is not always as straightforward. Oh, we'll take out the pan, why not? Hello, Anthony! Welcome, welcome. Alright, we'll take our little bit of mana there. Get our explosion. Not sure which explosion do I want. We'll go for bottom explosion. That'll make it so we don't accidentally block it on green, since we are restricted to the good old green color. And that does include our weapon, so can't use any of the other weapons, unfortunately. So we just went with explodey green. Technically, we could just tank with our truffle. I was just concerned it would die. But that is always an option. Yeah, this thing's definitely blocking our green a bit here and there. It's probably the main thing actually making it so we don't keep getting full mana there. Luckily, whenever Leprechaun gets it back, we just take it and not block its mana at all. Barely at all. And of course, always level up there. It takes slightly longer, but gosh, they give you a lot more points over time. It just keeps slowly going up and up and up. Alright, we'll take a purple. Unfortunately, we already have Leprechaun at full mana, so it doesn't like do too much. But every little bit helps. Go for our other explosion. And then we just truffle it down. Right, nice. Get another truffle in there. Actually, let me just take the green. It's already just sitting there. And I'll find a little truffle. Oh, so we're almost at that level. But there we go. And tomorrow we will have the armor for sure, obviously. As we're currently at 469. Even the standard battles would get us there. Technically, we get it right now if we buy another tier, but we'll wait till tomorrow. We'll wait till the 7-year anniversary. Treat it like the 7-year anniversary armor. But anyways, let's go clear out all the other dailies so we can throw Volkies literally all stream. As that is pretty much the entire game plan of this stream. Is clear out every daily in the game. And then we are opening until we have like 500 keys pretty much. Maybe slightly short of 500 because we'll be counting pity. And for the cases of this grind, I will be counting epic vault key. However, for the end goal by the end of the weekend, I'm not going to be including epic vault key. But for the halfway point, I actually am going to be counting epic vault key. How many Paloozas do I have? 21. We need to farm at least 15-ish more. Which means we basically need to find one every single hour that we're going to be grinding between today and tomorrow. Or, you know, the rest of today and tomorrow. Which is doable, but, let's see how it goes. Because, yeah, we do effectively have to find one per hour. Which, very doable, but also very luck-based. As you can easily go 0 of the one you need in an hour. And you can also go multiple if we get lucky. A couple lucky hours there just drowning us in verse 3s. Because verse 3 is the only thing we need. If we get 20 verse 3s in a row, we have 20 Paloozas. So, really this comes down to what our verse 3 RNG is going to be. Which is not ideal to base it based on RNG, but shouldn't be that bad. Next Vault grind, we're definitely not going to be able to do as many, though, after this one. Because, gosh, we're going to be completely out of Paloozas. We're probably going all the way to 0. We're replacing our 0 Vault keys with 0 Paloozas left, probably. I highly doubt they're ever buffing Paloozas, though, so going all the way down to 0 doesn't matter too much. I just always like keeping a few reserve in case I am away or something similar. Which actually I might be, because I might be seeing my dad for Father's Day. I wasn't able to during the winter time. But Father's Day is around the corner. And there's a chance Vault event might be close to that when Father's Day occurs. Like that 1 week period. Those 2 weekends. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it might be possible we're not even around next Vault event. The good thing we're getting in the grind now. No, it probably will be. It really depends on what weekend it falls on. Because I'll probably be busy on Father's Day weekend plus 1 weekend adjacent to Father's Day weekend. And hopefully that adjacent one is not the Vault events. Anyways, let's go take out dungeons. Anything? Oh gosh, yes, a stun trap. Why do I expect anything less? Alright, let's go kill these Zolgoth, of course. And then we'll go see how the Ward event is going, because Ward event we still need to go get done. And by that, I mean, hopefully our guild finished it. Good job, guild. You got this. But they might not have, because obviously not many people farm it during a Vault event, because you don't get anything from the Vault event during it. So we'll see. It was pretty close, but also pretty close is like a mile away during a vault event. Due to how few people are actually going to touch it. When is Father's Day? That is a good question. When is Father's Day? That's an answer I don't even know. Should probably know. I know, like, it's in, like, what, June-ish? Like, sometime in June. Exact date. Why am I going to gemsofwar.com? I'm, like, thinking it's tomorrow night. It's not tomorrow night yet. It will be soon. Anyways. Father's Day... 2023. June 18th. So, around that weekend. I might be gone. Which, there's a good chance Vault Event won't be then. But, you know, they're pretty sporadic sometimes, so it could be, it might not be. We'll likely be gone around a week around that time, most likely. Not set in stone yet, but, decently likely. Alright, what do we need here? I'll take our explosion. Also, this would be the first vacation I go on without a laptop. Which will feel really weird. Because every vacation I ever go on, I have my laptop with me. But this is actually the first time I'm going away since the laptop broke. Like, obviously it's still usable. But I mean broke in the sense that the screen doesn't close. So it is physically impossible to physically move this laptop to a different location. Which basically means it's technically not even a laptop anymore, in a sense. Because it's basically completely stationary. However, yeah, I'm just gonna have to do everything off a phone. Which means we're probably not posting any videos or anything during that time. Other than some stuff we might pre-record. Because doing all that from a phone would be way more annoying. I don't know, we might give it a shot, though. Or something very small for the weekly thingy. Isn't like the full video, but enough to get the gist of things. I just posted TikTok on my phone. I have never used TikTok in my life. I have never even seen, like, a single page on the website. Like, Instagram I've never used, as for example. But I've, like, been on the Instagram website for several seconds a couple times. However, I have never, for even a second, been on TikTok. In any way, shape, or form. Not even for a millisecond. I'm not even sure what the URL is for. Is it just TikTok.com? I'm not even sure. But I have never once even glanced my eyes at their logo. On, like, the App Store or anything like that. I have never seen it. I'm pretty sure it's that music note, though, with, like, a black background. Or whatever it is. Because I have seen, but I haven't actually seen the app itself. Anyways, what am I looking for? I think we did all the things. Let me go check World Event. Has our guild done, like, the 1 point we needed yet? Yes, they have. Good job, guild. Nice, we don't have to do World Event. Unfortunately, the orb is horrible, but we don't have to do World Event, which is the good thing. There we go. Alright, so, any other things going on? I think we've done all the things. Time to go grind 1 billion keys. Because that's done, that's done. Probably going for a couple hours tonight, too, for going to the halfway point. The armor we'll get tomorrow. We already did dungeon. Pity keys, stacking up. Spring event, just double checking. I know I already did it, but, just want to look at it again. There we go. Also, we got that 69 coming in. Okay, we're good to go. Alright, let's go and grind some. Let's make sure we're on the correct team. Which we should be. Never mind, we're not. Okay. I forgot that counts as a one of our teams that we use. Alright, so let me go switch over to Double Ironhawk. And let the grind begin. TikTok is where brain cells go to die. That sounds about right. I don't know, I don't really use, like, any kind of social media-like thing. We tried doing it for the channel again, like, multiple times over the last several years. The last 7 years that we've had this channel. I do it for, like, maybe a month, not even, and then it's like, why am I doing this? I hate social media so much. But, yeah, we used to do, like, Facebook and Twitter for this channel. Keyword on used to. But anyways. So, let's go and start a Palooza. Soulforge. Weapons. I mean, not weapon under weapons. The good old Paloozas. And let it begin. First Palooza of the nights. The first of many. I'm not sure how many we're doing tonight. want to say like 12-ish, 8-ish, 10-ish. All those numbers are over 2 hours, so we'll see. 'Cause we're probably going for like 2-ish, 3-ish hours tonight. And we'll have 2 codes tonight as well. One in a little bit, the other one in, I have no clue when. Maybe after this Palooza. We'll hand out the first one and the other one a little bit later. As we got a gigantic stash from Kafka the other day. And I did remember to put it into the code section as well. So we have that good to go. It should last us probably till the end of next month, I would assume. They are going to be handing out quite a few tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly how many, but some number between many and a lot. For the 7-year anniversary. Actually, you know how many we have to hand out? It's a 7-year anniversary. We gotta hand out 7 codes tomorrow. We can't not. Okay, I think we know the number now. We're handing out 7 redeem codes tomorrow. It's gonna be the game plan. I'll even section them out to make sure I remember to do 7. Yeah, that sounds exactly the game plan. We'll hand out 7 codes tomorrow. Perfect. Which means over the whole weekend, I think we would have handed out a dozen. Hey, an Epic Volkey. I'm still not sure how we're counting Epic Volkeys. It depends where we are in the grind. If it still seems like we're a mile, we're counting them. If it seems like we're in realistic striking distance, then we won't count them. But I'm not against counting them. They're still Volkeys. They just have the word Epic in front of them. Let's still count them towards our 1,000. But we'll see. Ideally, we'll get an actual 1,000, so our Volkey number specifically says you have gotten 1,000 of them. But we'll see. Oh, that's right. We're getting one almost every other battle here. It's always great to see. Sometimes a regular Volkey is better than an Epic. So which is more Epic? I know, right? Yeah, Epic Volkeys are kind of disappointing sometimes. There's so many tweaks they can make to make them better. It's one of the reasons I'm still holding out on all my Epic Volkeys, or most of them anyways. Just out of the slight chance they do end up doing something with them. Oh yeah, we didn't start a timer! I clicked the button for it. Oh, that is so funny. I literally clicked the hotkey for it, but I forgot I didn't open it before the stream. Well, we're playing the RNG game of, let's hope we finish at the right time. But, yeah, I clicked the hotkey for it, but I forgot I didn't open the program before the stream. That's funny. Yeah, I'll get the timer up, after this Palooza. But for this one, we won't know, unfortunately. Yeah, that's really funny. I clicked the button and everything, but it doesn't do anything because it's not open. The button's kind of pointless. Yeah, I'll set it up after this battle. I think it takes like several seconds. Actually, we could probably do it in between the loading screens here. We keep clicking very quickly. Unfortunately, the timer won't do us any good, but I can at least open it. Let's see, where is it? It's right over there. Oh, no, it opened over top the game. How could you do such a thing? The thing where all the files are open literally exactly the dimensions of where the game is. Which is the worst place it could have possibly opened. I can move over there. Alright, as soon as we finish this battle, we should be able to click on the thing. Let's hope so. There it is, right there. We just have to close it. And, well, let's make sure it opens first before we close it. There it goes. There's our timer. It's just not moving. Oh, that's the, oops, I almost X'd out the stream itself. That would have not been good. Wrong X. Luckily it has a warning on it. Good old warning boxes. Why wouldn't it let me click on the thing? There we go. Click out of that. I just need to move all my interface over so it's all nice and neat again. That's a destroy it all trying to click the thing. But, there we go. We now have a timer. It's not moving, but we do indeed have a timer. Yeah, we'll have it working when we go into the next one. But yeah, I clicked the hotkey to make it move, but then forgot it wasn't open. Whoops. Soul should be removed from the epic drop table. There's so many things that should be removed from the epic drop table. It's something they definitely need to like completely overhaul in the future. I sure hope they do at some point. Which is why we hoard them all. Because they're definitely doing something to it. Kind of like how we always knew they would do something to VIP keys, and they eventually did. Same thing's gonna be for epic vault keys. It's just one of those like end game currencies that are just like so vital that that's kind of underwhelming in the current state of the game that they're definitely going to tweak at some point in the future. When that some point is, could be years from now, but it will at some point. Technically, the patch in December buffed them slightly because, you know, it buffed orbs, and orbs are found in vault keys, so. But more was a buff to standard vault keys than epic vault keys. Is the ratio that you get from vault keys, normal vault keys, is actually better than epic vault keys. Epic vault keys gives you more, but relative to their rarity, you're effectively getting way more orbs from vault keys. Even though the chance is the same to get them. And you do get 2 when you get them from epic vault keys, but that doesn't make up for anything. Because they don't have a higher rarity within epic vault keys. So getting 2 isn't really that big of a change. As far as overall value and everything. Relative to a similar amount of vault keys. Because honestly, 2 vault keys generally outweighs the value of a single epic vault key. In most of the time. Good majority of the time. Like a surprisingly high amount of the time. Way more than it should. $520. You're at about 520 in the Gnome Palooza. So what time did we start at? Around 8:20 you said? Oh, so hello, Bert. Hello, Dark Master. Welcome, welcome. That was a nice hello, too. Hello, Tyrion. Also, Tyrion, I still didn't get the Typhlosion, by the way. I need to go do that. I keep forgetting. I might do it as I'm eating tonight. Which at this point is probably going to be around 11-ish. Because we're going for at least another hour and a half. Maybe 2 hours, we'll see. So hello to see ya. Welcome, welcome. Because I at minimum want to make sure our vault key number says 400. Not counting pity, not counting epic vault key. I want the number to be 400 by the end of tonight. Because that's pretty much the halfway point if we're counting absolutely everything. If we're counting pity plus epics, by the time we hit 400, we should have 500. If that makes sense. You know, 400 standard vault keys, 500 counting pity and epics. Because I think ultimately this weekend we will be counting epics in the count. Though if we have time, obviously we'll go for the actual 1,000. It seems like we're a little tight on time. We're definitely counting the epics. But I'm not sure we're doing any standard grinding tonight. We're probably just going to do straight Palooza, most likely. And then tomorrow will be a mix of both, obviously. As we actually don't have enough Paloozas to finish, currently. I was hoping we'd get a bit luckier throughout the day today, but we did not. I got a few, but a few is not the number we need. I still need like 15 more. Getting there, though. We are getting there. Some hours you get none, other hours you just get buried in them. So the hours with none are slightly disappointing sometimes. Especially when you're actively looking for them. So can we please have a slightly less awful board? There we go. Or 10 minutes in? Okay, 5 minutes to go. Hey, Volky, at least, so. And obviously somehow Dragonite from the Dragonite Gnome. I got a pretty sizable amount of Dragonite. Actually, it's kind of funny. Even on the Angels, I've actually been skipping on Dragonite. I can't remember what the double offer was off stream, but it was like 15 Dragonite and something else. And the something else wasn't even like over the top good, but I went for the other thing. I didn't go for the Dragonite. I think it was like 2 Arania versus 15 Dragonite. 15 Dragonite is worth more, but I have no need for Dragonite anymore. Whereas I do have a need for 2 Aranias. So even though 2 Aranias is worth way less than 15 Dragonite, I actually went for the Arania, which is something we would not have done a week ago. However, we don't really need Dragonite anymore. Like, Mars still good in case they do something with it. And just for the fun of crafting 2 more Diamantinas, because why not? Just to have 4 of them, even though we would never need a team of 4, or even a team of 3 for that matter. Even 2's pushing it a little. But, I can't remember the train of thought was just going on. Wow, I already lost my train of thought in there. Oh, did I miss Samurai? I think I did. I don't remember. I may have caught in it and just not even realized it. Maybe I did, because I'm pretty sure I used a lure ball on one of them. And what else would you catch a lure ball in but a water-type Pokemon? I know, I need to check when I go do Typhlosion. Not too big a deal if I am missing it, though. I'm not too paranoid about getting them all. Actually, the main reason I cared about getting one of the first ones so much, the, gosh, what it was called, the Scrobunny, was because Scrobunny has actually never been catchable in a different ball until that event occurred. Whereas all the other ones have been. Because the way that they work is, generally, every Pokemon of its own generation, more often than not, can only be caught in a Pokeball. But then the generation after, it can be caught in other balls. And that's what ended up happening with that guy. Oh no, he actually ran away! That's unfortunate. And he didn't die to the one-shot either. Oh gosh, that is so tanky. He summoned a Mythic. That's so bad. But, okay, we have enough damage. That's good. But, generally, they can't be caught in, their generation. And Scrobunny, since it was the previous generation, that was actually the first time you could catch it in any ball. Which made it rather more unique. Whereas all the other ones, they've been out for, like, ages now. Some of them literal decades. Like Typhlosion. So, hello, Marty. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, those Dragonite Gnomes are kind of annoying. 2 minutes left, okay. Should be good to go. Just around that 8:32 moment then. I don't want to burn too many battles though, so we're probably just going to keep consecutively doing it. Since we don't have any precise timer. Because otherwise we skip like 2 or 3 battles worth of loot. And I'd rather have the 1 Volt Key than slightly more loot. Unless we find something really good near the end. Like if we randomly see like a Dragonite Gnome or Cursed Gnome, we might hold on it. Since we don't know our exact timer right now. Which is something this weekend I generally wouldn't do. But since I don't know where our exact timer end is, we probably would if we see one like right now. So hello, Chad. Welcome, welcome. Hope all's been well. Hope a double glory now. Come on, where's our other quad glory? I think we've only seen 1 quad glory all weekend. One of the best ones you can find. "30 seconds. I would mean it's the battle after next battle then. See if we can push it. Ooh, triple glory. Okay, we'll hold triple glory. I'm fine with that. Yeah, we'll hold on triple glory. Unfortunately, the other one's really bad. Good water break. Alright, so is the timer up then? The invisible, non-existent timer? then we'll make sure we get it going for the next one. It counts to 69 for luck? No. We should be good to go. Do I have sound on? Wait, is sound not on? It should be. Can you guys hear it? Oh, I'll make it higher. I can make it super high. How's that? Let's see, I'll put it like right around there. Hey, can you guys hear the audio? I definitely can. Doesn't the music change when it's over? Let's see. It does after, but not during. But yeah, 2,200. There we go. Anyways, let's go run another. Before we do, let's go update our number, though. Since it takes so much less, I'm just going to start updating it every single one. It doesn't take that long. Oh, no, we'll see. Up's the wrong number. That's not the one I want to update. This is the one I want to update. Okay, so obviously that's 13 Paloozas. Inventory, that is 3 more epic vault keys. Nice, nice. So I think one of those was before the stream started. And then a 262, which means, ooh, that's not good on normal vault keys, though. It's not too good. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to include the epic vault key number. We can't let getting lucky get in the way of our good old number. And of course, all the pity, which we're just adding those at the end. Pretty much pity will act as if we're near, like, 900-ish. Like, we're there pretty much. We're pretty much there. And currently we're at, like, the 300 mark. Anyways. There's about 1/3. I want to try getting to about 1/2 by tonight, if we can. At least a little closer to it. This is the game plan for tonight. And then tomorrow we finish it out. There we go. Now we actually have a timer. A good old glorious timer. Also, one nice thing, since we're only running this team, I don't need to worry about ever changing the currently active Explore team. You hear no music? Really? You don't hear any music? Is it that quiet for everyone? I can put it all the way up. I'll do it in a second. Oh, do you hear anything now? Because I have it on literal max volume. Unless I accidentally have the whole thing muted. Because I can hear it, but I might have made the interface thingy muted on Gems of War when I was playing earlier. No, it's not muted. Oh, you can hear it? Okay. Is it too loud now, or is it, like, just right? Because I turned it up literally to max. But I have it on pretty quiet, so having it on max isn't that loud. Oh, you can hear it, but you have to turn it up. Yeah, I generally keep it pretty quiet. Just so it's there, but not, like, blazingly loud. So hello, Chris. Welcome, welcome. How's your grind been going? Are you going on the Volky grinds? How many you're at? Actually, everyone in chat, how many you at these days? I'm really curious what numbers. Talking double digit, triple digits. Anyone got the 1,000 already? Because it is possible by now to have the 1,000. Technically on day 1 you could if you just ran Palooza the whole day. Which, there's definitely someone out there who did. Actually, I can go check my guild too to kind of see about how many people did too. That doesn't give an exact number of where they are. Because doing a bunch of Paloozas compared to just a bunch of battles is quite different. You're at 795. Nice. How many Paloozas did you have going into the event? Gosh. A lot of keys already. We're doing a bulk of our grind tomorrow, though. Because by the end of this stream, we'll be at like 500 plus. Or about 500. Counting pity. And epics. Because we're probably getting our actual Volky number to like 400 by the end of stream. And pushing all the way to 1,000 tomorrow. Hello, Draco. Welcome, welcome. You dedicated day 1 to the farm, yeah. Yeah, Sunday's definitely going to be our biggest day as far as farming it. Because we're pretty much streaming every second of tomorrow. We're going from 10 to 10, or at least that's the game plan anyways. And based on YouTube's restriction, that's probably as much as we possibly can stream, so hopefully we'll have it by then. I might even do it from 12 to 12 instead. I'm not sure. Because one benefit of doing it from 12 to 12 is if we're slightly short, like it gives us some more time to grind for it beforehand. Which isn't bad. Oh, it's your birthday today, Crisp? Is it? Oh, we definitely need to sing happy birthday if you want. We'll probably have to do it after the vault, or current vault, though. I could probably sing it while doing it. The multitask. This is the first vault event that's come around that you just really feel no motivation to do it. I like farming when you don't have in-game goal. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I haven't been going as heavy with it. Like, the main motivation I have to do it this weekend is, you know, it's the 7-year anniversary of the channel, so we're kind of going all out on it. But if it wasn't for that, I definitely wouldn't be doing 1,000 this weekend. We'd probably have, like, a 500-ish goal or something more realistic. It isn't, like, all the way out there. Because by the end of the stream, we're pretty much going to be at the 500. Oh, you want to sing happy birthday to you? Sure. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Chris. Happy birthday to you. Hope you had a wonderful birthday today. And a wonderful grind. Apparently so, with how many Volt keys you got. I hope it went over well. That'll be a pretty easy one to remember, too. It's the one day before anniversary of the channel. I can't believe we've been doing this for 7 years now, gosh. We've been streaming for 6.5 because we technically started, like, streaming in June. So this year's June would be the 7-year mark of us streaming. But we've been covering weekly videos since tomorrow 7 years ago. We've been covering a weekly video or more every single week since 7 years now, as of tomorrow. It's a long time. It's actually the longest I've ever held one job. Because generally in the past I've hopped jobs like constantly. But this YouTube channel is actually the longest time I've ever bothered doing one singular job. How do you sing happy, or HDB out of tune? Wait, what's HDB? You've done 8 Paloozas, and you've gotten 152 Volkies and 26 Epics. Nice, Kikolia. Actually, that's really good on the Epic Volkies. Like, absurdly lucky on Epic Volkies. Actually, my Epic Volkie number isn't even that big. We've done, like, twice as many. Yeah, we're really behind on Epics. And some of those were even free Angel Epics, so we're really behind on Epic Volkies. Because one or two of those were from Angels. I know one of them between the streams was. I think another one the other day was as well. He's won them since last night was an Angel Epic Vault Key. Obviously for free since it was from the Angel. I got it from Merchant a couple times too, but obviously I don't buy them. I don't buy any of the Vault Keys or Epic Vault Keys from the Merchant. It's just not worth it. But obviously the Angel free one is always worth it because, you know, it's free. Not so much the other way around. They're a little pricey. Yeah, Crispy, do you get to anything special for your birthday today? Get to go out anywheres? Any fancy gifts? Have a great night out with your wife? Nice. You guys have any kids yet? Because you look pretty young. Like, not like young, but you know. Relative to the population of this game, young. Because I know the average age of a person playing this game is like 40-something. Especially based on our analytics. That's something that really surprised me when we started 7 years ago. Because when we first started, based on our analytics, plus, you know, just people saying what their age were in chat who wanted to share, there was literally no one my age watching us. That's still a weird issue to this day. Because the kind of things we covered, generally, for the most part, the ages that we target are, like, very high. Like, our below 18 demographic has been like 0% almost forever. I think recently it moved to like 0.1 or 0.2% for some reason, maybe because of Nintendo games and such. But it for the longest time was literally 0%. Generally, any gaming YouTube channel that has over 1 million subs is like 60% under like 25. But when we first started, it was literally decimal. Sometimes even so low it didn't even register as a 0.1%. Like, we somehow had, like, no appeal to our own age demographic. Which I found really funny. No kids yet, but you're working on it, though. Good luck with that. You haven't really been dating. How did you guys find each other? I feel like dating is awful these days. Like, the way that dating goes down is probably so much different these days than how it was, like, a couple decades ago. Because I found some really good friends through dating, but never, like, a female for a long-term relationship. Because when it comes to relationship with guys, obviously I would never, like, want to marry one. Because you can't really reproduce. I don't know, I just haven't really had much luck with females overall. A couple good friends from it. Especially during high school and such. Like, it was definitely a lot easier when in school, that was for sure. There's not, like, anywhere in, like, a place of work where I can find anyone or something similar. It's like I have to do, like, online dating pretty much. Because I'm definitely not going to a bar to try to find someone. I just don't feel like there's that many places to really go out to try to find people, though. Coin purse or mythic ingot? Oh gosh. Mythic ingot would be better in that situation. I had a similar option the other day. And I'm still hoarding the ingots in case they're useful for something later. I highly doubt it, though. How old am I? I'm currently 28. We started the channel when I was 21. I was going to when I was 19, but I held off a little bit until I was mostly done with college. But I was originally going to start it, like, nearly at the beginning of college. And I was kind of posting videos here and there. But I didn't, like, truly start it until I was 21, near the end of college. Because I was considering starting one, like, immediately after high school and just kind of put it off a little. And then ultimately didn't do it till near end college. And here we are still doing it now. You should have to sign a consent contract so you don't get Me Too'd. Yeah, that's always an issue. That isn't much of an issue with guys, though. They're a lot more chill. But it is always a concern with females these days. Like, I know it's not all females, but, you know, it only takes one. Like, even only if 1 in 10 is like that, that's still enough to, like, ruin your entire life, so... It's still an issue. It requires leaving the house. I don't know, where would you even socialize these days, though? Because I hate going out to bars. I feel like the type of people I would want to see would be at, like, a library. However, like, who goes to libraries these days? Like, more of them would be at, like, the Books and Noble Starbucks than at a library. Actually, I met one of my high school friends there, actually. Because I would actually study at the, I never actually drank at the Starbucks. But there was, like, a Barnes & Nobles, or whatever that one bookstore is called. I think it's called a Barnes & Nobles. And there was a store... Oh, wait, I wasn't even paying attention to the timer. I think we got it, though, for extra loot, so good. But there was a, oh, gosh. A, yeah, Barnes & Nobles, or whatever that bookstore is called, that had, like, a Starbucks inside. And I used to study there, and I actually met one of my high school friends there. Who I didn't even realize was going to be going to the academy with me until after the fact, and it's like, oh, there they are. Didn't even realize it until like a month later, because it was the summer between semesters. And I didn't even realize she'd be at the academy with us, and it's like, oh yeah, there she is. That's pretty funny, coincidence. We were even in most of the same classes too, we were even in most of the same classes too, because the digital communication classes. She was actually that one vegan I've talked about a couple times. We sat together in the digital communications class quite often. And any group projects, we normally do it together as well. Where you'd want to meet someone depends on the type of woman you're into. I don't know, really it depends if it's long-term or short-term. Because I feel like the long-term type of females I would be interested in are not on dating apps or even, like, anywhere. Like, they basically aren't anywheres at all. I don't mean that in that they don't exist. I mean that in that they're not out there. Because they wouldn't be at bars. They wouldn't be on dating apps. They're kind of just, like, living their life. And it's hard to meet those kind of people. Like, genuinely. It's because they're not really trying to look. And for the most part, I'm generally not either. I haven't really been. I've, like, tried dating here and there, and it's, I don't know, it's been average. Honestly, just making long-term friends, and then if it eventually goes to that place, then it goes there. But, that's pretty much all I've really done. Just good long-term friends. Dating is just way too complicated these days. Volunteering's always a good option, true. I haven't done that since high school. I actually had, like, so many hours of needed volunteer work. I think for the academy, over the 2 years I was there, I had to do, like, 80 to 100 hours of, like, mandatory volunteer work. Or something along those lines. I did at the pet shelter and a few other places. I never met anyone there. But also, I was underage at the time, so... it'd be kind of hard to meet someone there. Unless there was someone else who was, like, a kid there. Because at the time I would have been, like, 16, 17. But the age of consent in this state is 16. But it's still kind of weird doing it at that age. But I believe this is an age of consent 16 state. But I was still technically underage at the time when I was volunteering. You met your husband through an MMORPG? That's kind of funny. I've met a lot of friends through gaming. Never any relationships, though. Like, the people I know in Chicago, I pretty much met through gaming. Like, when I've gone to Chicago a couple times. You met your husband at a charity fundraiser? That's pretty cool. The only charity work I've ever done has been, let's see, where have I worked at? I've worked at or not worked, but, you know, done charity stuff for. I've done, let's see, what's the whole list? I've done a pet shelter. I've done a food bank, multiple food banks. I've done a thrift shop before, whatever you call those. For like a church or something. Because in New Jersey, I actually did that quite a bit. There's some other ones. I handed out water at a marathon once before. That was pretty fun. It was really hard to do, though. Because they're running at you at, like, max running speed, trying to grab a water. And it is very difficult to cleanly give someone a water when they're running at you. Like, exceedingly difficult. Like, obviously they slow down a little bit when they're about to grab the water. But they're still moving at a really rapid pace. It was fun, though. I also got a lot of free water that day. Was very hydrated. You know what I'm saying. Water. W-A-T-E-R. Or W-A-T-E-R. Gosh, I'm even slurring the letters to say it. Hello, Sushi Ninja. Welcome, welcome. I turned into a dating simulator. I just Googled single YouTubers near you. Actually, that's kind of something I've never done in my 7 years of YouTube. I have not made any YouTube friends. I've been on YouTube for 7 years. And aside from people from the Gems of War community, I have not really, like, branched out to, like, make any friends with, like, any YouTubers. Like, obviously, there's people like Genki, even Chris, who's technically here right now, and stuff like that. But, you know, aside from people, like, within Gems of War, I have never really talked to, like, any YouTuber ever. Other than just people who cover Gems of War content. Like, people who cover, like, more general content I've never bothered, like, becoming friends with. Or, like, meet up or anything like that. Despite doing this for 7 years. And we've never really done collaborations or anything either. There's not as many things you can do it for within Gems of War. Until they add, like, a co-op feature or something. That would be fun, though. Get, like, everyone who streams Gems of War, if they ever add a co-op mode. If they have it, kind of like how they do in Puzzle Quest 3, where you can have 4 people. Because then we can get ourselves, Genki, Crisp, some other person. And, get a whole lobby going. Yeah, I'm pretty horrible at making friends as well. I find a lot of people to be too weird for me, though, a lot of times. Like, there's a lot of things that would turn me off to a friendship very quickly. Like, if they were heavily into drugs, even marijuana or something. If they smoke or anything like that. If they have a drinking problem. Or even just drink, like, every week. Like, there's a lot of things where it's just like, eh. Even if other things match up, I just don't want to deal with that. Six to 9 hour Gems of War stream marathon? No. There's not even 69 hours left in this Vault event. There's only like 30-ish. And the smoking thing is mostly because of my asthma. Because I have, like, really bad asthma. It normally isn't an issue, but around, like, smoke and stuff it is. So, hello, Marcelo. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, in the 7.5 years I've been down here, pretty much 7 years, because I actually moved down here, oh yeah, I moved down here 7 years ago. It would have been, like, June of, 7 years ago. So I've been down here for almost 7 years, and I have actually made 0 local friends since then. I had a lot of local friends here, like, during middle school, high school, and stuff like that, because, you know, it's a lot easier through school and everything. But since then, I don't know, like, anyone in the area. The biggest issue with my area, though, is it has a lot of tourism. So you never know when you see one, like, someone is like, oh, are they here for, like, a week, or are they here for, years? Which is always an issue, just generally with my area that I live in. Has a really high turnover rate of people being here and then not being here, compared to an average area. Because this definitely generally isn't an area where people would settle down. It's more so an area people would stay here for a couple days, a week, couple years, and then be out of here. Well, I've been here for 7 years. Technically, my entire life, I've almost been in this state more than any other state. Because originally that was New Jersey, but now it's starting to get pretty high to be this state. Because let's see, it would have been 7 years plus from middle school. That would have been 6 years. So I would have been in South Carolina for 13 years now, which is almost half my life. So it's getting close to the halfway point. I've still been in the north in New Jersey more. But yeah, I've almost lived in South Carolina half my life now. In 2 different intervals of 1/4 of my life. But yeah, this house is actually the longest I've ever lived in one house. I know when I was younger, because my dad used to flip houses, we would, like, the average time we'd spend in a house was like 2 or 3 years. Prior to me living in this house, the longest I ever lived in one house, I think, was 4 years in New Jersey. Yeah, this house for 7 years is actually the longest I've been in one place ever. And in that entire time, I've made no friends. Not a single one in the area. The other slight issue with that is where I am, because I'm right next to the water, so I technically have 50% less space to find people. Because generally, in an average location, you are surrounded by land. However, in my location, I am surrounded only half by land. The other half is a watery abyss of nothingness. So I have half as much space in my circumference around my current area that people can possibly exist. Slightly even less so, based on how the curve of the ocean actually is. Almost like 60% less. There's a lot less circumference around my area, because I'm like right on the water. Not like right on, but you know, pretty much right on the water. Within mile distance. You've been in your house for 13 years? Nice. Yeah, generally, if you're going to buy a house, you tend to be in it for way longer. Like, you know, if you're paying it off over like 20 years, 30 years. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why this house has been going so long. Because it was a 30-year plan thing. So obviously, whenever you do that, it tends to be a longer amount of duration. Because normally you wouldn't move until it's fully paid off. Anyone is fully paid off, you might not even move then. Oh, you rent? Oh, okay. I have actually never really rented yet. I've lived in rented buildings, but me myself has never really bothered renting yet. Like, on my own budget. To some degree, I feel like it's burning money. Like, I would sooner throw, like, my entire bank at paying off this house before I would rent. Personally. But obviously, some circumstances you kind of have to rent. It was kind of funny because with how the payment plan is on this house, it is actually cheaper to have bought in this house than it was to rent in the area. Because it's only several hundred a month, whereas the average rent here is like 1,000 plus, especially during the summer when they're more in demand. Because during the winter, there's less demand for housing around here. But during the summer, the average rental place around here probably goes up by like 20-30%, if not more. Because everyone coming in and they might come around for multiple months. Because it's not worth staying at a hotel for like 2+ weeks. So a lot of people will just like rent out a house for like a month. Because it's actually cheaper to rent out a house for a month than it is to rent out a hotel for a couple weeks. Even for like half the duration. Your housing, oh yeah, HOAs. HOAs can be kind of annoying. Actually, didn't John Oliver just cover a thing on it not too recently? Like the other week or something? But yeah, I live in an HOA. They haven't been that bad. But they've definitely done some questionable things that are annoying. But I'm not a fan of HOAs. If I could ever get a house like that's not in an HOA, that'd be like ideal. Like, it's not awful. Like, they maintain the pool, they maintain a lot of the area. And stuff like that, but overall, it's more of a hassle than a benefit. Not to mention the fees and everything. I don't remember how much it is. I want to say it's like 100 to 200 a month. And most of the benefits from it I don't really utilize. Though I do like that I basically have my own P.O. box, though. That's kind of close by. It's like one of the bigger benefits we actually get from it. That and the pool during the summer. Because obviously I don't have any pool or anything in my backyard, but there's one within super short walking distance that's opened and maintained. I don't have any cost in maintaining that, at least. This pool maintenance can get pretty pricey over time. If you have your own pool in your backyard. Alright, let's remember to actually stall in this one. Yeah, HOAs are not nice. Mine's not that bad, though. There's definitely worse horror stories out there of HOAs. Alright, there we go. Like, our HOA definitely isn't corrupt with power, that's for sure. Which is good, at least. Alright, let's go take a tribute. Boom, boom, boom. 28 gems. Alright, Soul Forge. Let's go do it again. Oh, wait, let me go update where we are. That was our 14, right? Oh, wait, hold up. I forgot to update for the previous one. We're actually at 15 right now. Oh, no, I forgot to update when we did the other one. We just went straight into another Palooza. There's an easy way to check. How many Volkies do we have? Oh, yeah, we definitely did 2. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was looking at how much time has passed, and yeah, it was definitely 2. So let me go update it. Alright, where are we at? We're at 306. And then 25. Wait. Oh, no, I'm looking at the other number. It's higher than 25. I sure hope it is. Yeah, 31. Oh, that's not too bad. Ooh. Oh, we did kind of good on both. Not bad at all. Alright, there we go. Let's keep going. We're almost at the halfway mark. Let's see. Counting pity, counting all keys. We are currently at like 380-ish. So that means we have to do about 5 more Palooza. So it looks like we're streaming till 11. Because we've got to do about 5 or 6 more. So let's keep going. That probably means we're going to like 10:30 or 11 tonight. It's another hour and a half to 2 hours. Okay, let's keep going. Other. Go to that. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, we're good to go. Okay. Click on there, click on there, click on there. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, when John Oliver covered HOAs, it was like the worst of the worst, though. I assume on average, most aren't that bad. Because I've lived in 3 different HOAs? 2? 3? I don't remember. I've definitely lived in a couple. This definitely isn't my first. This is the first I've like seen most of the ramifications of it. However, it's not the first HOA I've ever lived in. But, I don't know. Most HOAs I've been in, they're not like the worst thing in the world, but, you know, they're not good. Like, if I had the choice, I would definitely want to live in a not HOA compared to an HOA, but not the worst thing. Yeah, I did hear that story, where they basically like foreclosed on a house for like $3. That's kind of insane. Because if they didn't like pay HOA dues or some kind of other thing that kind of like backed up for like thousands. So they foreclosed on their house for like $3. There's a TV show that I watch? No, I don't actually watch a TV show. I just catch the clips when they're on YouTube. And by the clips, I mean the YouTube thing for it. But no, I have never watched a show a single time on TV. But I have seen about half of them through YouTube. On the official John Oliver channel, or whatever it's called. Or Last Week Tonight, I think it's called, the channel. But I've seen a good majority of the episodes in recent years. Actually, I generally watch it while I'm making the Gems of War video. Like, when I'm doing the Monday Gems of War video, assuming I haven't crashed, I normally watch it in between, or as it's uploading, or sometime during the process. It generally is tradition if it's currently running. I watch the video of the main thing that they cover every night, or every week, I mean. Just to pass some of the time while I'm waiting for the thing to upload, or making the teams, or something else. It still counts. Yeah, housing keeps getting more and more expensive as well. So it definitely kind of makes sense to some degree to rent. Because I know of a couple people who've still been looking, and gosh, they cannot find anything within like a reasonable range. I think the biggest issue is most newer houses that are made more for like the middle to like middle upper class, whereas the average new home buyer with like a budget of like near nothing, it's generally like the new stuff that's being built is outside the price range of what the average first home buyer is really looking for. Which leads to a weird situation where, like, the only viable option is, like, renting. Finding some kind of really cheap place and just paying it off over a very long period of time. Like, there aren't as many starter houses these days. Like, just a nice small place for very cheap. This place wasn't too bad, though. I believe this place was, like, ever so slightly under 100k. It's pretty close to the ocean. Pretty close to quite a few major areas in this area. It would probably be even cheaper if it wasn't in this area. The house needed a little bit of work, but it wasn't that bad. Something's still broken in the house too, but most of it's not really that important. Like, for example, the vent in the bathroom doesn't work. Like the thing for the air thingy. So there's probably going to be moss or whatever it's called built up in there at some point. Because that just air duct thing doesn't work. The air conditioner and heating does, but the ventilation system doesn't. Because it uses a completely different system than the other thing. Yeah, molds, that's the one. I highly doubt it has yet, but it probably will at some point. Because the ventilation system's still broken. Yeah, it's not good, but we don't use it like to a excessive degree. So it's probably not going to build up mold anytime soon. Yeah, it's not ideal. Because I haven't been able to find like a cheap way to repair it. Because we don't even know how much damage is up there. We might have to like completely gut the entire thing. Which I'm pretty sure is at least several thousand. No, there's a shower there. Just use it pretty briefly. Like obviously we're not in there taking like 30-minute showers. Also, when it comes to mold and everything, it's more so an issue with warmer water than colder water. So if you use it in like a mild temperature, it doesn't build mold as much. Because most of the humidity that does it and everything. Like the humidity combined with the water. I think someone's taking a cold shower then? I don't know, I take like mild temperature ones. Like not super hot, not super cold. It's normally so hot that it's around this area that you don't even need to take a particularly hot shower. Because it's almost summer year-round in this area. So other than like some points in the winter, you never really need a warm shower. Yeah, we did have a couple storms earlier today. It wasn't too bad though. Hopefully it's not too bad tomorrow because we're doing a very long stream tomorrow. But yeah, I mentioned 10 to 10 earlier. We're actually going to start closer to noon tomorrow. The main reason I want to push it back... Well, for one, I actually want to see if there is going to be too much of a storm tomorrow, but the other main reason, well, other than sleeping in a little bit more, is I want to make sure that if we're slightly short on Paloozas, we have a little bit more time to grind off-stream. So I can set up into making sure we 100% hit the 1,000. Because one thing I don't want to have happen is we do a 12-hour stream, and then by the end, we're like a few Paloozas short. Because obviously there's enough time between then to farm those few Paloozas, but YouTube's 12-hour restriction thing would make it so we won't be able to. So I'm probably going to go from noon to noon. So a 12-hour stream from noon to noon, or noon to midnight, I should say. It's 12:12 Eastern Standard Time. So we'll push it back like 2 hours then. And that's just to make sure we 100% make sure we hit the 1,000 by then. Just in case. Because that will allow me to get at least like a few more Paloozas before the stream even starts. Still streaming for 12 hours, of course. Or more so 11 hours and 55 minutes, or whatever it comes down to. Because obviously we have to stop, like, right before the 12-hour mark. Yeah, time sure flies by when we're doing Palooza. It's already been like a whole hour. I should probably check tribute after this because I'm pretty sure we haven't clicked it this stream since we started. Yeah, good home prices are available, but also depends where you want to live, true. Yeah, I know in New Jersey and such, prices are like absurdly high. In the area I currently live in, housing actually isn't too bad. For the most part. But that's also because the wages here are like horrifically bad. It's one of the reasons we even do this YouTube channel. Like, we don't make a lot from this YouTube channel. But there's also not a lot to be made in this area. So comparatively, it's not like too bad. Because this is still an area that's the $7.25 minimum wage. Like, there are still work here that is like $8 an hour. Or even less. And all service jobs are actually exactly $7.25 if you don't get tips. The place only has to pay you like $3 an hour and only cover if you don't get any tips. And even sometimes that can be hard to do. And then you're still making like $3 an hour. So it is actually possible to work here with wage theft at $3 an hour. Because sometimes your employer doesn't pay correctly if you're not getting tips. Because they just assume you are and you're lying about it or something similar. There's a lot of cases about that. There's a lot of wage theft that happens in this area. Like, it is actually possible to make under $7.25 an hour here. Which is quite literally illegal, but it does happen. And you don't normally have much action you can do against it. Because I actually lost, when I had a job in high school, I actually had about $1,200 in wage theft taken from me when I was in high school. Because they didn't pay out for several weeks I was working. And you know, the amount of money it would take to like sue for something like that or something similar, like it's not worth the effort. So I'm just down a little over 1,000. Because that's what they expect when anyone does wage theft. Like, you're not going to have the money to... You're quite literally not going to have the money to fight it. Especially if it's only like a couple hundred or a couple thousand. Most people just won't bother fighting it. That's probably one thing that put me off to, like, normal work more so than anything. Because when I had a normal job, I literally had over $1,000 stolen from me. Not through taxes or anything, just literally from the employer itself. Whereas luckily, I don't need to worry about YouTube doing that. While ad revenue is absurdly inconsistent. They're not actually stealing thousands. We need kill condition. We'll take that one. Something I had to deal with at flea markets too. Because the issue with flea markets is mostly just theft. So you lost money that way too. You would make way more than what you lost, obviously. But you always have to have like that margin of theft calculated into your profits. I'm pretty sure like every retail place does. I feel like some go way overboard. Like Walmart's almost feel like a top security prison now with like how much security they have sometimes. With like all the cameras and everything else. But yeah, there's always an issue with any retail job. Or, you know, if you like own the retailer essentially. Which is basically what flea marketing is on a low scale. A super low scale. If I had to guess, over the few years I did flea marketing, I probably had a couple thousand stolen from me. But relative to how long it was done for, like, that's not that much. Like, we're talking, like, several dollars a month or something. Which isn't that bad. I mean, a little bit closer, like a few dozen a month. But it also depends if you're looking at the price that you would have sold it at or the price that you bought it at. Because it's definitely lower if you count, like, the price that you bought everything at. Like, if something steals something that you're selling for, let's say, like, $2.50, you'll likely obtain that object for, like, 10 cents to 50 cents. So in theory, they're stealing 10 to 50 cents, but in practice, they're stealing, you know, like, $2.50. Which is the other weird thing when it comes to retailers, stuff like that, too, when it comes to theft. Like, how do you calculate for theft? Or do you calculate based on retail price, or how much the item was bought for, or the actual value of the object? Because that's one thing that's always confusing. Like, let's say, for example, a shoplifter kept stealing from a store, and they stole what is theoretically $1,000 worth, which I think is when you can start prosecuting to put them in jail for, like, several years, if they've stolen that many. So let's say that happens. How do you calculate for 1,000? Is it based on the retail price of when it was stolen? Is it based on the current price once the lawsuit is put into place? Is it based on, like, what the product was bought at? And even if it is, like, how would they calculate it at? Like, the exact price that it was at the given time? Like, maybe they stole one thing when it was $2, and they stole it again later when it was, like, $3.50. Do you calculate it all as $3.50, or do you count it once as the other price, and then the other as the $3.50? And then how do you figure out that it was stolen at that price? Seems like a whole long process. Because even if it is based on current costs, like, if you're tracking someone for multiple years, like, I'm pretty sure Walmart does, for, like, all their theft, and keep, like, a profile on everyone. Like, if they do something like that, like, how would you know what the price is constantly? Or would they just, like, tally it all up to the highest one? But anyways, let's go do another Palooza. Oh yeah, we never handed out a code. Let me go hand out the first one, then we'll go do another one. Let's see. This is the last code from the previous batch as well until we move on to the next one. But I've never deliberately shoplifted before. I think when I was a kid, I stole gum on accident, though. Or something similar. Like some kind of candy bar or gum, because I thought it was paid for, and it's like, you know, I'm just a kid at the time, so it's like, oh, I didn't realize it wasn't. I think there was one time I did go shopping where I think I didn't ring up, like, an extra one. Like, I bought, like, multiple or something. I think I forgot to ring up, like, one of them, because it was, like, one of the self-checkout things or something similar. It wasn't deliberate, though. It's just really hard to remember how many of you actually scan sometimes. Like, if you're buying, let's say, like, 5 or something, it's just so easy to accidentally scan, like, 4. Just forgetting that you put a 5th one in there. I hate the self-checkouts, though. I think I mentioned that yesterday, and many times in the past. Really hate the self-checkout ones. Like, if they're... Like, I will... If a place literally only has self-checkout and no, like, lines where they do it for you. I will literally go to the store next door that has an actual cashier. Even if it costs like 10% more. Just to not have to deal with the self-checkout thingies. There's a lot of times I will just go to the pharmacy next door rather than the Walmart. Just because they actually have someone always running the cashier. Though that is one workaround in a Walmart, because sometimes some Walmarts, they can actually ring you up at the pharmacy. So if there is some kind of pharmacy product you needed, you can actually get rang up at a cashier at the pharmacy place within them. You can sometimes do the same thing with the electronics section, because a lot of times all the electronics are locked up. So, you know, you have to go and talk to them, get them to do the thing. And a lot of times you can cash out there. Which, honestly, I have probably cashed out more at a Walmart's electronics section than I have at the self-checkout. Because generally, if I am in a Walmart that sells, like, everything, not just groceries, like the one near me that's on the corner, they just sell groceries. But if I'm in a Walmart that sells everything, the reason I'm there is probably for something electronic-based. So normally I just get rang up there more often than not. Yeah, self-out checkouts can check to see if you didn't scan anything. They're pretty advanced. That's the other reasons I hate Walmart. I was mentioning that earlier, but they're like a top security prison. How much security they have in them. You just always feel like you're being watched, because you quite literally are. It just feels rather invasive. Like, unless I absolutely have to shop at a Walmart, I generally try to avoid it. Which I generally do because the corner Walmart is so close. Because they basically have monopolized themselves and taken out, like, everything else out of business. So if I want to go to a food shopping center, I have to walk, like, double the length. Maybe it's not double, it's like 50% more, but... it's way further than the Walmart. Because there's, like, so many Walmarts everywhere. Oh, hello, David. Welcome. Oh, I missed the hello? Well, hello, David. Welcome. Hello, everyone. Yeah, we need to get hello, everyone merch at some point. It's been a joke for basically 7 years now. Because we've pretty much been doing it since day one. But, yeah, we need to at some point. I just never gotten around to it. I've never thought the demand would be particularly high, though we have had at least a couple dozen people over the years ask about it. Like the hello everyone morning mugs. I would definitely use that if I was to ever make that as a product. If I were to ever go sell a bunch of them. Well, I've done flea marketing and stuff. I've never done a custom product like that before. Pretty sure there's companies that you can do it with that, like, do it, like, on their own. So you don't have to, like, ship it all out or anything. Because I actually used to live pretty close to, like, a shirt retailer thingy. And it was kind of cool. I actually, did, oh gosh, what you call it? Interning at it while I was in the digital communications class. And, yeah, they would ship out, like, dozens of orders. Like, they would take out, like, an online thing. And, basically, like, you know, someone would order, like, couple dozen, couple hundreds, and handle all the shipping, handle all the everything. It's pretty cool. We put on the prints, got to do that whole process. Got to see the back end of how a lot of that worked. They only really did shirts though, and other printable objects. They didn't really do like more of the solid objects like mugs and stuff like that. Mostly just fabrics and signs. Which I think it was even called Card and Signs or something to place. I can't remember the exact name. It was a small family-owned business, too. It was just him and his wife. I think they had, like, a kid or two. But the kids didn't work at the place. I got to chat up with him quite a bit in high school. I interned there for, I can't remember how many intern hours I had to do. Whatever the required hours amount was. And hey, I got a few free shirts from it too. Unfortunately, I don't think I have most of them anymore. I think I threw most of them out at this point. But I got a couple free shirts from the place, which is kind of cool. On top of the internship thingy. Which I had to do for high school anyways. Which is kind of funny, now that I think about it. For what I studied for in college, because I didn't go all the way on the degree, I just went for a associate's degree. Which is basically like no degree at all, but... but since I did, I actually hadn't needed to do any interning in college. Which is rather funny, because I actually did more internship during high school than I did during college. Which is normally the other way around. Hello, Supernova. Good morning. Welcome, welcome. Oh, no, tonight was just a nightly stream. I was going for a couple hours tonight. Probably another hour, hour and a half. I'll another redeem code in a little bit. The best opening for videos ever. Thank you about that, David. Greatly appreciated. You feel like time sleeping is time lost during Vault events? To a degree it is. I wish they had Vault events slightly more frequently. It is just so broken how much loot you get from them compared to when it's not a Vault event. In a good way. Not a broken in a bad way. Broken in a very good way. That does feel like you kind of have to overly grind on this sometimes. Do a daily Vault event every Wednesday. Oh, that'd be right in the middle of the week, though. A lot of people can't do that on Wednesdays. Because generally speaking, people tend to have more time on the weekends. Obviously, not every job is like that, but more so than not. The weekend is more of a free time kind of area. Not for all jobs, obviously. But as a whole, it is generally a freer time for the average person. Speaking of which, we'll be streaming all day tomorrow. From noon to noon, or noon to midnight. I keep saying noon to noon. We'll start at noon, go to midnight. Is the game plan. Also, I'm not sure if I'll have the Mythic tier list up by tomorrow. As much as I want to, I keep just grinding Vault event instead. Which makes it kind of hard to cover the Vault event video. Because of how many hours it's going to take to fully get that finalized. So there's a chance it might not be up until like Tuesday next week or something. Then we'll start Breath of the Wild on Wednesday. I think that's pretty much the game plan at this point. What time zone are we in? GMT -5, Eastern Standard Time. It's currently 9:32 p.m. Whatever that is relative to yours. Yeah, we're going for 12 hours. And the goal is to hit 1,000. And we should be able to. I don't see why we won't be able to. Though it could come down to really bad verse 3 luck. If we get super unlucky on it, there is a chance we don't end up making it. I highly doubt we're going to get like super unlucky. We'll see. It really comes down to the draw of how they go. So luckily no mimics today. We got a couple the other day. I don't think I've seen a single mimic all day. Between the stream now and a little bit of side grinding. So I feel like I got a lot more side grinding in on Friday. Are you streaming till 1k Vault keys? Yes. That's why we're actually going to be doing it from noon to noon rather than 10 to 10. Because I want to make sure we have a little bit more time to grind some more verses. Just in case we need them. Make sure we guarantee get the 1,000 mark during the stream. I might count Epic Vault keys though. If it seems like we have enough time to get 1,000 flat, we will. But if it doesn't, we will include Epic Volkey into the 1,000. Because technically, they're still Volkeys. They have Volkey in their name. But, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But if we have to, we will count the Epic Volkeys. But ideally, we'll see a nice 1,000 stack. Counting Pity. Because we're definitely at least counting Pity. And if we get desperate enough by the end, we'll count Pity and Epic Volkeys towards the Volkey number. Because, you know, Epic Volkeys are still Volkeys. They're just a different category. Because one fun thing I kind of wanted to see this weekend is go from 0 keys, you know, a 0 one-digit number to a 4-digit 1,000 plus. And for that, they would all have to be physical Volkeys rather than Epics. Because Epics are in a different stack. Yeah, I don't know how to say Eastern Standard Time and not GMT. Because I believe it's GMT -5, but I'm not sure what the other number is. I'm not even sure what those letters stand for. In all fairness, I don't even know what AM and FM stands for. I mean PM, why did I say FM? That's radio. But AM and PM, I mean. Actually, what does FM stand for in radio? I don't even know. Also, gosh, that's something I haven't done in a while. When was the last time any of you guys have listened to a radio station? Not counting your car. Car doesn't count. When was the last time any of you have gotten, like, a box that literally is for the radio? Like, you know, one of those little radio thingies? Like, I'm not including car, but when was the last time any of you have listened to a radio that wasn't your car radio? I wonder if that's even a thing that's done anymore. Like, I assume to some degree it is. But I feel like that's exceedingly uncommon. You have one in the kitchen? Interesting. That's a good place to have one, though. Last week? Interesting, it is a bit more common then. That's also because a lot of you guys probably grew up with it too. Like, I don't feel like the average kid these days does. Like, I'm pretty sure if I ask the same thing to, like, an average Gen Z, like, they'll know what a radio is. They've listened to it. They'll know everything about it. But they don't regularly listen to it. Like, it's not a thing, most people do, or younger people. Aside from car. But car is like the standardized place to listen to it. Because I know back in the day when I was a kid, I actually used to have one of those radio things in my room. So I'd be like watching TV while listening to radio while playing a game. The ultra multitask. And that was before the days of the internet was as much as it was now. So to a degree, the radio almost was your internet. Or not in like the traditional sense, but you know. Like it's somewhat in the informational sense. Prep them for the kill and give it a couple seconds. Right, there we go. Let's see what our tally's at. Oh no, we're about to get a battle. You know what? I'm actually going to go through one cycle. Just so we can get that battle out of the way, just so we don't have to deal with it. Where are we right now? 336. Ooh! That's some hefty number. We just hit 30 in one. Oh, that's a very hefty one. Wait. Was that 2 Volkeys? I'm starting to lose track. Wait, was that 2? Because I'm looking at this number. It's now 41. There's no way we get 10 within 1, right? Yeah, that had to have been 2. Alright, we're at 17 Paloozas. Because there's no way that was 1. Because if that was 1, that was the most insane one ever. Yeah, it had to have been 2. Because there's no way we hit 10 epic Vault Keys and 30 normal Vault Keys in one single go. It's just not possible. It was not 69. Oh wait, is the number 69? No, it's not. Oh yeah, 69 right there, I see. I was wondering why everyone was typing that. That would be why. Okay. There we go. Numbers have been updated. I didn't think it would be that hard to keep track of the Palooza number. It is. Because there's nowhere you can just look like every other number, be like, oh yeah, that's where the number is currently at. Anyways, let me go clear these out real quick. I'm not even gonna bother changing the team. Should be pretty quick. Alright, we have 2 awful options, so we shall skip. Gosh, wait, mythic ingots are that expensive? Whoa, 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 whoa. They're 50,000 gold each? What is that price? Do they even know what mythic ingots are used for? Because the answer is nothing. I didn't even notice that. How long have they been like that? Obviously forever, but gosh. 50,000 for a mythic ingot. That is so absurdly high. That might be like the lowest value thing he even offers. Yeah, it's like, it's not even a scam. That's like a straight up theft. I think that is quite literally the worst possible value you can get out of any of the offers. Well, obviously one of the gem offers is probably worse than that. But definitely with the gold offers, that is horrifically bad. Anyways, oh wait, what am I doing trying to change my team? I'm already on the right team. Alright, let me go start the Palooza. Palooza number 18. I was at 13. Wrong number. Okay, let's keep going. Let it begin. If I can click the right location. There we go. Also, I did read all the radio comments, by the way. I just didn't read them aloud. Because I read all the info you guys mentioned on the radio thingies. How the merchant needs to make a living. That's a little price gouging, though. And I've seen a lot of funny things at flea markets in that regard. Things that I know they bought for literal cents being sold for like 10 bucks is like insane. Whereas other locations will sell for $1. But they like hype up like how they talk about it to sell it for more. I think one of the most egregious ones, I think I mentioned it a couple times on stream, but there was a perfume guy at one of these places, and everyone knew it was fake perfume pretty much, like any of the regulars. But he's selling these perfume things that are probably like several cents, because they're just like made in China, ultra rip-off stuff. But you know, he hypes it up, he has like a whole hype crew, he hires like multiple people, and that he pays, I have no clue how much, but like he has multiple people there to like hype it out. Some people even in the crowd who are like paid actors. And like he has this whole thing going on trying to sell these things for like 5 to 10 bucks that are worth like 1% that value. They're pretty much just like filled with water that are like slightly scented. Which in all fairness is pretty much all perfume. But you know, he's trying to sell like almost like name brand stuff or like things that actually have a name behind it. That's quite literally illegal for like 100 times markup. Which is still cheaper than how much the actual stuff is cost, if you were to buy the name brand actual thing. I never really understood the point of perfume, though. Never been a fan of it. Perfume, cologne, anything like that. They all smell weird to me. Like, the natural scent just smells... Well, I guess tastes as well, but... That's a different category of thing. But, I don't know, natural scent just smells so much better. Like, I would never use cologne ever. Like, I can't think of a single activity I would ever go to where I would use cologne. Oh, is that the code from earlier? Thank you. Or is that one of your codes? Because I will be handing out another one in a little bit. Oh, you gave it out for Chris' birthday. Oh, nice. Is Chris still here? Not sure if he is. He's probably by bed by now. I'm not sure what time zone he's even in now that I think about it. Oh, you gave out one for his birthday. Oh, there you go. Thank you. I'll be handing out another one in a little bit as well. Not sure when. Because we're probably going for about another hour or so. Give or take a little. Hey, hello, Chris. Welcome, welcome. Or hello, I should say. You've already been here for a while. Heading out for dinner. Hope it goes well. Have a good night out. He's at the Mexican restaurants. Is he actually? This sounds pretty good. Actually, one thing I mentioned so many times in the past I still haven't done. I still haven't gone down to a sushi restaurant since the pandemic. Because obviously I stopped during the pandemic for obvious reasons. Soon after I still didn't because of other obvious reasons. And then I just never bothered going back. Because it's kind of safe enough to go back at this point. But yeah, I've never been to any sushi restaurants since the pandemic now at this point. I've been meaning to for a while now, just haven't gotten around to it. T's an alien? We're not an alien. Though the memes about Mark Zuckerberg being one are pretty funny. Because he definitely could pass as one. So what has he even been up to lately? Hasn't he just been crashing his company into the ground quicker than any company has ever crashed in the history of companies? Like, I'm pretty sure they've lost like a third of their net worth or something already. If not more. And they took on the whole meta thing. Which is kind of funny, because I'm pretty sure VR chat in, like, Second Life and whatever other alternatives are still better than whatever metaverse Zuckerberg has been working on. Which is kind of sad, because I'm pretty sure Zuckerberg's metaverse has a higher budget than almost, like, the entirety of gaming. In, like, a given a year or so. Because I'm pretty sure it's been billions. Whereas the average game's budget is definitely, like, double-digit millions at absolute most. Like, almost no game goes to triple-digit number. And he's done definitely billions in, like, metaverse research, development, the headgear and everything. Obviously, it's for physical technology, too. Not just for that, but still. They are down so much. With, like, almost nothing to show from it. Like, he would lose less money just making campfires out of his money. Like, he would have made a better investment making a campfire out of $100 bills every night to heat his gosh, what is it called? Not campfire, what is the thing? The thing you put in the house. A fireplace. But yeah, he would literally have burnt less money using $100 bills to feed a fire for a fireplace than he would with what he's done with the metaverse. It would have literally been a cheaper investment. than everything that's gone down with the metaverse and everything he's been doing with that. I think Zuckerberg thought it would be like metaverse will be like Ready Player One. Technology is way far away from being at that point. Zuck wipes with hundreds. Well, that is a joke. There are some areas, I'm pretty sure in Venezuela, it is probably more cost efficient to use the currency as toilet paper than it is to use actual toilet paper. I would not be surprised. So you joke about that, but there are places in the world where that is actually true. I'm pretty sure. Where the currency has gone down in price so much that, it actually is more expensive to use the currency on toilet paper. You have to think of all the production costs that actually goes into toilet paper. Like, imagine if you had to make your own toilet paper. Like, how hard that would be compared to, you know, buying it. Because we have it good. We can just buy it. The alternative is, not ideal. Do you wipe with the coins? No. Also, I mentioned that in the past, too. That's something I still don't understand. Why? Or, well, to some degree I understand. But in almost every place in the world, or at this point, pretty much every place, like, the higher currency is the paper-based one, and not the coin-based one. Like, to some degree it makes sense. But why is it that, like, every place doesn't use coins that just are worth a lot more? Like, one thing I don't understand is, like, why isn't paper notes used as, like, the lower ones? And coins are used as, like, the $100, the $1,000, the $10,000, stuff like that. Like, I don't understand why it's the paper. Like, obviously, they're more condensed, but they're also a lot more breakable. Like, very much more breakable. They're also used with cheaper material. Like, even a penny, from a material perspective, is theoretically worth more than a $100 bill. Obviously, it's not. But from an actual material perspective, it almost is. Yeah, it is lighter to carry, but you can make pretty light coins. Like, you can make coins pretty thick, especially with current technology, while still being very durable. Have 3D print the coins. I guess that could technically be an issue these days. But they would probably have technology in them to make sure that wouldn't happen. Because they kind of have done that with $100 bills. They have like those little scan thingies on them, or whatever you'd call that little bar thingy. Like, you can do very similar with coins. A Dogecoin will be used on Marge? No. I never got into cryptocurrency. I still to this day do not understand what NFTs or current cryptocurrency is used for. It literally just seems like a stock market. Where you're trading nothing. You're trading digital nothing. At least a stock market like has like stock market you're still kind of trading nothing, but still has like some kind of value to it. Like, the stock market makes slightly more sense, but still doesn't make sense. But cryptocurrency and everything else, like, it is quite literally the trade of nothing. In a stock market style. Your reservation got pushed back for 45 minutes? Oh gosh, that's a heavy pushback. How busy are they? I can't even remember the last time I've needed to make a reservation. Which I'm kind of surprised, because during the summer, this place gets pretty busy. And I have not needed to make a reservation in like a decade, I'm pretty sure. There's only one place I know I would maybe eat at some point eventually in the area where I would, because I believe it's reservation only. But it's like a super expensive place I would like almost never go to that I haven't been there since like 17. But aside from that one place, I can't think of a single place I would have needed to do a reservation for. But I guess on the weekends they do get more crowded. Makes sense. Because normally if I'm going out to a place, I don't really care what day it is. Whereas places like that would be more crowded on a weekend. Which it is right now, especially a Saturday. High schoolers graduating today? Oh, yeah, that could be it too. Wait, graduating today? Gosh, you guys get her out early. School around this area, I think, goes to, like, May or something. I know in New Jersey went to May. I think in this area goes to, like, early May. But this, I mean, in this area it can go to, like, early June, late May. But in New Jersey, I think it went to, like, early May. But gosh, late April? People are already graduating? It's pretty early. Because when I used to go to school, it would get out around either early May to ultra late May, depending on what state I was in. So do they have summer vacation all the way till like August then, or January? I mean, not January. I mean, September. Because I knew in New Jersey the way it would work is normally it was late May and you would get back in September after that one holiday. Whereas in South Carolina, it was closer to like early May, and then you would get back in like mid-August. Also, sometimes even earlier than that, because I remember when I had to do band camp, or not band camp, what would you call it? It's not band camp in the sense that you guys think of band camp. It was band camp in the sense of preemptive marching bands. Not to be confused with band camp, as they are two drastically different things. I'm not sure a proper term to use for it. But it was like preemptive marching band activities. It's not like you were physically there. It's something drastically different than band camp. They are two different things. But I know sometimes we had to start like 2 to 3 weeks early to practice for competition. They just started pretty early in the year. So similar to how the teachers would get to, would have to go to the school, you know, like a couple weeks early to like prep everything, the lessons that they're going to do, you know, whatever they do, I don't know. I've never worked as a teacher. But, you know, all the teachery things that they have to do a couple weeks before school actually starts, I technically had to do for a couple years in middle school and high school when I was doing marching band. But that's not to be confused with band camp. They are two drastically different things that have no correlation with each other. Band camp is where all the weird things happen. The other thing is when you get into ultra serious try-hard mode, because you're prepping for competition. Yeah, marching band prep is something completely different. It's basically a an exercise course disguised as you're actually doing marching band, because gosh, you honestly do more exercise during that time than you do actually prepping. Because a lot of times, not all of the music and all of the choreograph for it is done yet, because it's still in development. So you might only be working on some of it. So the rest of the time is just spent, like, literally exercising. Which, how it is not considered a sport in some states, I don't understand. Because honestly, you do more exercise during marching band than you do in, like, 10 years of PE when you do it in school. Like, 1 year of marching band is literally your entire, like, kid life of physical education in a single year. It is that much physical activity. What instruments did I play? I mostly did percussion. So everything from drums to mallets to every single weird object you've ever seen hit with an object. If it's an object that can be hit with an object, I've played it. Actually, that's the one thing I got that was actually a lot of people probably haven't gotten to experience. But I have played nearly every percussion instrument in existence to at least some basic degree. Like, you can name, like, literally any obscure object in the percussion category, and I've probably played it. It's upwards of 1,000 different instruments. Between marching bands, band camp, and, you know, just being in school for it during high school and middle school. I have played pretty much every single percussion instrument in existence. Even ones from other countries. Or ones that are more commonly from other countries. Because what was nice is, when I did go to band camp and stuff like that, we actually got to use the college's instruments, and the college had, like, everything. Like, everything. Because obviously they'd have way more than what a high school would generally have. Because they were a pretty major college in the area. They were able to go there in, like, middle school and high school. Not to the college itself, but, you know, for, some of the band-related stuff. So, hey, verse 3, I need that. Oh, also, why am I grinding these, by the way? Oh yeah, our Palooza ended. What am I even doing? I'm just, like, talking so much I don't even know what I'm doing right now. Anyways, let's go run, Oh yeah, thanks for the redeem code earlier, Genki. Which is for Crisp's thing. But anyways, let's go run, Alright, let's go run another Palooza. But first, let me go update our current Palooza number. Hey, at least we got a first, verse 3. How about cowbell? Yes, of course I played cowbell. As well as double cowbell and triple cowbell. Because, they're sometimes tuned to, different pitches. While generally an average cowbell won't be. There are some things that sometimes you play, like, multi-tunal ones. Because they have, like, different pitches depending on their shape. So sometimes you have, like, a multi-cowbell. Though a singular or hand cowbell is always fun. It's such a basic instrument. There's not much technique to it compared to some other percussion instruments. Other than make sure not to block or hold on to the thing. Because generally you wouldn't want to hold on to the base of the actual cowbell itself, otherwise you'd stop the ringing noise. Unless you had to muffle it for a certain thing in the thing, but normally you'd use a different instrument for that. As a cowbell would not be particularly efficient at doing so. Anyways, okay, let's go add our Palooza up. Let's see, 18... Yeah, I kind of want to get back into music at some point. If we ever get back into music, it's literally just going to be like random video game music. That we'll make on our own. Let's see. Epic Volkeys, it moves up some. It'd probably be something like that if we ever got back into it. Because I haven't really done anything musically in like the last almost decade. Pretty much since high school. It's pretty much been a decade. I haven't pretty much even played an instrument since then. Can I play drums? Yes. Though I'm not as good at drum set as like the average drum set player. Because while I have a wide experience with percussion, I do not have a particularly high amount of experience with drum set specifically. Like, I know how to play drum set, obviously, and can do multiple different things with it. But, I would say compared to the average person who plays drum set, I would probably be slightly below average. Though I know how to play and everything with it. And everything related to it. It's just not one I have a particularly high amount of, practice with. Specifically. Because drum sets normally compose of a lot of different moving parts. On average, probably about a dozen. And there are multiple ways that you could play each one. And I know how to play it and everything. I'm just not the most rhythmically inclined when it comes to specifically drum set. There's a lot of really advanced things you could do with drum set. Because generally, the average person who plays drum set, they play like almost only drum set. Or they're like really into music and play like absolutely everything. Because drum set's actually a relatively advanced thing to play at a high level. Like it's a low skill ceiling, or it's a low skill floor, but a high skill ceiling. As far as technique and everything that you can do with it. Like it's very basic in premise, just throw stick at drums. No, it's not literally throw, but you know. Just whack things with the stick. But, at high level, there's a lot of things you can do with it. As far as muffling when you hit. How you can end up doing the hi-hat and snare. And just everything else. I do always have, generally, my foot tapping to, bass drum, speed, though, for a lot of songs, though. Just out of habit. Because the most common way to do bass, obviously, is just one note every single beat. Obviously, there's a way more ways to do that, as well as muffled hits with it. But, the most common one is literally just, like, one every single beat. Or, like, triple and then one off beat, where you don't do it. So, out of habit, my foot is almost always at tempo for exactly on rate or double on rate of current tempo of song. Like, even right now, my foot's still shaking to it, to the Palooza noise. It's going at double its rate. So 18th notes. Or no, 8th notes, I mean. Because generally when you keep tempo on drums, while you might be playing a slower tempo, you normally have to mentally think of the tempo as like double its tempo. Because a lot of things you do with drums are at a really quick pace. Like 16 for 30-second notes. A lot of times. Well, it depends what you're playing, but... So you have to think at a really quick pacing. And a lot of times it's quicker to just think of the tempo as double the tempo that it actually is. Otherwise it seems slightly too slow. Yeah, the space and noise, yeah, it can get really noisy. I was almost considering getting, like, earplugs when I was doing it, because they make special earplugs that you can do when you play percussion. I never bothered getting any when I was in high school. Mostly because I was still growing at the time, because I was still a kid. And normally you have to get them fitted for your ear for proper ones. But there are actually, like, proper, I'm not sure who would make it these days, but I know the product exists, where you can get, like, custom-made, custom-fitted earplugs that don't completely mute noise, but they get rid of a lot of the harsher noise from, like, drumming and percussion instruments, just instruments in general, when you're, like, right near the source of the noise. But I didn't bother getting any, because you have to get them fitted quite well for them to work properly. You can't just, like, buy them over the shelf. Well, you could, but they're not going to work as well. But they're kind of like earplugs, but they're more like a muffler than, like, a muter. Like, obviously, they're not meant to mute sound, but to muffle it enough that it doesn't cause pain to your drums. If I was ever to professionally get into it, I probably would. I never had any inclination to go professionally into anything music-related, though. I mostly just did it as a hobby during high school and middle school. And slightly in elementary school, though, not as much in elementary school. Oh, my elementary school, they actually, like, forced you to have to do music. Oh, no, do any of you with kids, do they still force you to have to do, like, what's that one thing? Recorder. That one, like, recorder instrument. I remember playing that. I completely forget these days how to play a recorder. But I was actually kind of decent at recorder, compared to the average person. It's actually what made me want to get into percussion. It's like, wow, everyone here is so bad at music. Let me go get into percussion. Like, it kind of inspired me to, like, oh, okay. We could do this. Because I was like an ultra try-hard, especially in elementary school. Like, elementary school and, like, early middle school was probably when I was the most try-hard ever in school. And eventually I got a bit demotivated later in middle school, and then in high school, like, almost gave up. And in college was, like, a middle ground. But I was, like, ultra try-hard in elementary and middle school. As far as when it came to grades and learning things and everything. So hello, Insane Gamer. Welcome, welcome. I feel like I don't have the personality of a drummer. Which is why I never really got into, like, drum set as much. Like, the average drummer has, like, a really stereotypical both visual and personality that I do not fit within. And the stereotype is true. Like, 80% of the... like, what your stereotype probably is in your brain of what a drummer is like. I would say, like, 80% of people who play drum set and mostly just play that and, like, maybe, like, guitar and a few other things. The exact thing that you imagine in your head is 100% accurate. Whatever stereotype you are currently thinking, it is not wrong most of the time. Like, at least 2/3 of the time. Yep, how on earth did that not go? I clicked it like 5 times. I'm actually clicking so much it's not even registering any of them. Oh, triple Volky! We still haven't seen the quad this weekend yet. The quad Volky. Oh, so I don't even think we've seen a double epic yet this weekend. We've seen at least a couple triples though. Oh, triple into a double. Into a single. Into an epic. Keep the chain going. Oh, nothing there. Oh, we broke the chain. Triple double still good though. You're forced to play the recorder. Music teacher said it had to a certain color that you couldn't find anywhere. So really, they had a certain color? Well, I guess we just all had black ones. Oh yeah, where is Isabel? I noticed that earlier. I was gonna comment on it earlier, and then didn't. Yeah, Isabel hasn't been here tonight. She's just sleeping. She probably burnt out from the vault event. She's probably been vault grinding all day and then crashed. Yeah, we haven't seen her tonight. She probably just crashed from overly grinding. She probably went like 40 hours with no sleep and then need to sleep. Oh, she's having a bad day? Oh, that's unfortunate. I'll check in with her after the stream. Oh, she has personal matters to attend to? Oh, okay. Hello, Coopster. Welcome. Can you go over how the Palooza works? Like, why hold the good gnomes when it gets close to the 15-minute timer being up? You just returned to the game a few weeks ago. Okay, so how Paloozas work. So first step, you need to get verses. It is quicker to farm verses during a vault event, which it currently is today and tomorrow, and yesterday as well. But it's quicker to farm them now. Basically, what you do for this is go to level 1 Explore. Make the quickest team you possibly can as far as killing things. You likely want to use a bunch of empowers. Leprechaun into Rowain's one of the easiest ways to do it, if you have access to it. And if you don't have Leprechaun yet, it's pretty easy to get from keys if you have some spare keys laying around. It's pretty low rarity. Otherwise, just use whatever empowers you have to feed into a one-shot troop. But basically, just keep killing Explore 1 at the quickest way you possibly can, over and over and over again. And then you will eventually find verses. Once you have found one of each verse, you can do a Palooza. Basically, the reason why you want to save your Paloozas for vault events is even though you always get 4 gnomes guaranteed during a Palooza, there are 2 things that are changed during a vault event. One is the frequency of gnomes, which of course Paloozas are not affected by. There's about a 3 times higher chance that you'll find a gnome, which is good for farming verses and everything. However, that's not the main reason why you want to save your verses for your Paloozas, your verses for vault events. The main reason is there's also 3 times buff to the vault key drop rate. So the amount of vault keys that we get is substantially higher. If we were to use a Palooza when it's not a vault event weekend, we would get probably around 5 to 8 vault keys. If we do it during, we're getting like 20 plus. So it is quite a margin of difference. We're getting roughly 3 times more, which is the main reason why. So outside of a Palooza, like during vault event, you're actually technically getting 9 times the rate, in a sense, because you're getting 3 times the gnome rate, but also 3 times the vault key rate, which is also kind of cool. But the reason for saving the Paloozas is basically 3 times better during a vault event, whereas farming standard gnomes is actually about 9 times better, due to 2 different numbers being both increased by 3 times. Which is also why vault events are so broken. Because when you're just grinding the standard gnomes, it is 9 times more efficient than when it's not a vault event. Meaning every hour you grind is like 9 hours outside of vault event. So if you're ever trying to do, like, getting a verse or trying to get, like, vault keys outside of a vault event, that's one of the reasons why it seems like it's so slow. It's about 9 times slower when it's not a vault event, at least in that regard. Whereas Paloozas are specifically 3 times better during a vault event, approximately. You only got 2 Volkies? Oh no. Yeah, that can happen. I've actually never done one out of a Vault event. But based on data we know, it should be about 3 times less. Yeah, 2 is super unlucky if that's the case then. Because even outside a Vault event, you should be able to hit like 4 to 8-ish. And that's just nerfed that much when it's not a Vault event. I've never actually done one, I've just seen other people's. Because I don't think I've ever done a single Vault event when it's not a Vault event. Or, you know, not a... I've never done a single Palooza when it's not a Vault event. Just because of how much worse it is. Yeah, Rowan is quite a bit slower for Paloozas. Which is the other problem. And they better not touch Ironhawk. Oh, I am gonna hate if we have to switch off this team. Could you imagine? Because the next alternative is Rowan Quick Kill. That's gonna be so awful. Like, it's not bad if you have to use it. But obviously, once you have better alternatives, you never touch it again. At least for this. Yeah, that would hurt so bad having to go back to Rowan. Like, we already do it for a couple things, like Daily Adventure Board and stuff like that. Just try to get class XP. Which hopefully that class should be max soon. Soon, TM. He only has 1 level to go. But for a lot of things, it's just too slow once you have the Ironhawks. Good old Ironhawks. Oh, an Epic Volkey with a Volkey, nice. Yeah, there are quite a few endgame teams that do use Rowan. But nothing related to Vault event grinds. Once you have better options, use Rowan. It's more of a, like, it's a really good option, but you get better options later. Whereas there are still some things Rowan is best in slot for. To this day. Mostly the middle to low level Explore. Like, I'm talking like Explore level 3 to like 5-ish. Like around that range. As well as a few other situations where enemies have similar stats. Like around that area, she's actually optimal. One interesting thing she has in combination with the Leprechaun at 50% mana start is she can actually full mana with a 4 times or 5 times blue or green. Which gives her a really high chance to be able to just instantly take a extra turn to full mana on turn 1. Compared to other quick kill options. Which is probably the biggest benefit Rowan still has to this day. Oh, we just got 100 Chaos Shards from that guy. I don't think he has a 200. That might be his highest drop. Nice. Unfortunately, 120 are still just equally as useless, but it's still a bigger number, so that's cool. Hey, we also got a Volkey. Unfortunately, from one of the better ones, the Soul Gnome there. This didn't replace the Glory Gnome, though. Anyways, Trippy's ready. So let's go add up our Palooza. See where we're at. We're almost at the halfway mark. Still got a few more to go, I think. Why am I going all the way down here? That's not where they're located. Alright, what do we have? Also, I can't press in to go do the scroll thing. I forgot you can't do that with inside the game itself. I'm so used to that with browser because you can like click into your mouse and then like have it auto scroll with the thing, or not auto scroll, but like make it scroll very quickly. But in Gems of War, it just counts as a press. Like if I click it, oh, you know, yeah, it counts as like a weird press, but you can't like do it to scroll like super quickly. Anyways, what was it doing? 379. Oh wait, was this 2 Volkies? No, this is only 1. Well, that was a really lucky one, if so, then. Yeah, I think it only was 1. Very good one, though. Oh, it's because I did some side grinding, I think. How did we get that many? Gosh. Yeah, I think that was still only 1, right? Sure, it seems like it, because we only got 1 Epic Volkey. We also updated pretty recently. There we go. Alright, where are we on Paloozas? I think we have like 17 left. 15. Ooh, that hurts. We need to grind more. Between the 2 streams, I need to go grind 1 billion. That's why I want to do it from noon to noon tomorrow. Or noon. I keep saying noon to noon. Noon to midnight. 2 12s. Where are we as far as total? We are 1 or 2 Paloozas away. Probably 2. So okay, so let's go do 2 more Paloozas. So that'll get us to about 11. Which is probably about when I was going to end tonight. So perfect. Alright, we'll go run 2 more Paloozas. That'll bring us to 20 total. Unless we've miscounted them. Which at this point we might have a margin of error by 10%. By the end of it all. But yeah, let's go switch over to the good old team. Also, if we were to do that, how short would we be We would need to get about 25 more. We're going to use 2. We're going to have 13. That means I have to find 12 Paloozas tomorrow. I think that's the number I said earlier. But yeah, we basically have to find, I mentioned it earlier, we have to find about 1 verse 3 per hour. So we have 1 Palooza more per hour. But yeah, that seems to be exactly where we're going to be at. We have to find approximately 1 verse 3 every hour tomorrow. Or, you know, find some good lucky hours where we get a bulk of them. But on average, throughout the 12-hour stream, or if we do some beforehand, it's slightly less. But we effectively have to get about 1 verse 3 per hour to be able to have enough to finish the 1,000 grinds this weekend. Slightly more if we want to do the true 1,000, or if we're just going for 1,000 total between Epic Volky. But anyways, let's go to the other and do what should be 2 more, and that should put us at the halfway mark, counting pity and everything else. So hello, Chiala. Welcome. All right, let's get going. Into the Palooza. Okay, let's go back. Also, we'll hand out a code after this one. That'll be the last code we hand out this stream. And then we'll hand out, or then we'll do 1 more Palooza after that. This is the second to last Palooza tonight. And then we'll do 1 more after, or hand out a code, and then do another. And then we'll end it there for tonight. And then tomorrow we finish the grinds for a 12-hour grinds fest. And should be able to finish. We might have to count Epic Volkies, and we're definitely going to have to count Pity. But we should indeed hit the 1,000 mark. And if we have spare time, we'll try to hit a 1,000 Volkies physical, rather than Volky plus Epic Volky. But otherwise, we'll just aim for the 1,000 between the 2, or technically within the 3. Well, 2 different currencies, 3 different sources. Because Pity's kind of its own thing, though it's still a Volky source. Yeah, both are going well, Triala. Yeah, a lot of weekends are always fun. I enjoy these weekends. They're a little grindy, but definitely gives a lot of resources for later, which is always pretty fun to have. Because, gosh, do we have a lot of Volkies to go open now? Because we just went from, you know, 0 Volkies. But now we're going to have pretty much 1,000. Give or take a little. Obviously, we're hitting 1,000, but, you know, physical Volkies. So we're going to have a lot to go use. If you wear the spring outfit tomorrow, be sure to use the mail. I know I am going to be using the mail for it. I was going to change it as soon as we get it. Like, literally the first thing we're doing tomorrow's stream is we're doing the spring event and then changing our appearance. I already changed the pet, but we're going to change our appearance to mail, change it to the armor. And, yeah, that's literally the first thing we're doing. Within, like, the first 5 minutes of the stream. This is finishing out the spring event. Well, not finishing it, but, you know, doing the spring event so we can get the armor. Our 7-year anniversary armor. Obviously not what it's meant for, but we're treating it as such. Honestly, I really like its appearance too. I have a feeling I'll be using it a lot going forward. It reminds me of that one green archer set, but a lot more naturey, and I like it. And so they add another better one. We're probably going to be just keeping it on forever. They add another custom one that looks cooler. Oh wait, is there actually a glitch with it? Oh, is there a naked glitch with the female one? I wouldn't be surprised. That'd be really funny if so. There's a naked glitch with both? Yeah, we don't need Dragonite anymore. I actually skipped on a Dragonite offer earlier. We had an Angel that was 2 Aranias and 15 Dragonite. The 15 Dragonite is better value. But I took the 2 Arania because I don't need Dragonite anymore. Whereas we still need thousands upon thousands of Aranias. So even though it's lower value, I need more copies, so I took it. Well, I guess we're going naked for our 7-year anniversary then. Wonderful. In-game, obviously. I have streamed without a shirt on before, though. I also record without pants on. Though never either fully naked. That would just be weird. I've recorded many videos without pants on. Obviously still underwear and everything, but I generally don't bother wearing pants unless I'm like going out somewhere after or something. There's no need to put them on. Not like anyone can see us. Well, it's just casual around the house wearing stuff. Ultra casual. I don't know, I've seen some of my friends naked before. I don't see anything awkward with it. I feel like for some people they would find it awkward. Oh no, I don't see anything wrong with it. Like getting ready for summer, so you're taking off the armor. Actually, that reminds me, I need to get a new swimsuit. I still haven't gotten one to adjust to my current size. Because I've gained a little bit of weight over the last couple years. And while some of them still kind of fit me, they're like ultra tight. So I need to go buy a swimsuit in the next... Actually, I'll probably need to do it before I go to see my dad for Father's Day. Because, oh, a Mimic. Oh no, a Mimic! That's the first one we've seen all stream. That's actually a bad thing, not a good thing. Oh no. But, yeah, I haven't gotten a new swimsuit in like 5 years. Actually, I still have my swimsuit from when I was 13 years old. The sadder part is, it actually fit me until I was like 21. Because it was pretty elastic. It doesn't fit me anymore though, it's way too tight. But I actually still, at this house, have the swimsuit from when I was 13 or so. Maybe even earlier than that. I would have been like super young. I'm a bit too big for it now though. I have another swimsuit since then, but that one's also slightly too small now. Go a few sizes up. Like they want to, the most recent one I have would fit if I truly had to, but it's a little tight. Birthday suit for anniversary. Chris might be later tonight. You never know. I wonder if he's still here. I wouldn't be surprised though. I definitely would if I was with someone. Like, why would you not? Has everyone been doing pretty good? And besides grinding all those gnomes. I feel like that's all I've been doing this weekend. I was able to get a few other things done today. Though one of those things was not making progress on the Mythic video, so it probably won't be up till this Tuesday. Which I 100% need to make sure it's up by then. Because I really wanted to get it out by tomorrow, but at this point it has to be delayed till next Tuesday. If we truly want to hit the 1,000 mark by this weekend. Because the video with everything else they still have to do for it's still going to take like another 5 hours. The video itself is going to be like 2-3 hours long. Probably closer to 3. That's like the only gift you want is to be in a relationship. That would be a good one. I don't know, I kind of want to be, and kind of don't want to be. Like, you have so much more freedom when you're not in a relationship. There's a lot less you have to deal with. I don't know, there's a lot of fun you can have with it. As well as emotional support and everything else. Which normally outweighs any cons that might come with it. But I generally don't need much socializing. If I went like 5 years without talking to a single person, I would survive. I don't think the average person would. They would go insane. But guys could easily go like a couple years, 5, 10, without talking to a single person ever. and would be perfectly fine. The power of introversion. Like, obviously you'd eventually want to meet up with people and everything, though. But I have I have exceedingly low need to do so, compared to the average person. You find people being single more stressful? Well, people who aren't single also generally have more resources. And having more resources will generally make you less stressful to begin with. Which is one weird thing with studies, because studies will always show, and to some degree it's true, like people in relationships are happier, they have more money, they have more health, and everything else. And to some degree that is true. But you also have to keep in mind who are capable of going into relationships. Like, if I had $100,000 more dollars than I currently have, like, yeah, I'd be in a relationship in like a month. Not even. But, you know, if you're, like, don't have as much money, it is a lot harder to start that process. To any degree. Because people who are in relationships are already, like, a baseline of stable, generally, before they get into it. Not always, but generally speaking, a person getting into a relationship is more stable than an average person not in a relationship. Not that people that aren't, but you know what I mean. Like, you need some standard amount of stability before then. Both monetarily and just mentally. So they're already going into a relationship at a higher point than, like, the average. Which really skews data that comes out for that. Like any kind of study that's ever done on it. If you can't stream for a day or two, you sort of feel it and miss it. Well, we're going to be not streaming for about a week soon. In 2 months from now. Because I'm going to be likely going away for Father's Day. Not to celebrate it for me, obviously. But to celebrate it for my dad. Because I wasn't able to catch him around New Year, so we're just gonna see him at Father's Day. He doesn't even know yet. I'm gonna probably surprise him. I'm not gonna, like, literally show up there out of nowhere, but surprise him kind of last minute there. Because his schedule's really flexible these days. Like, I don't think his schedule has ever been more flexible than it currently is right now. Which, in all fairness, so is mine, generally. Like, I could literally arrive at his house, like, randomly, out of nowhere, and he'd not be busy. Most likely. Unless they're out eating dinner or something. I know one thing I definitely want to do while I'm down there. I gotta eat real pizza again. It's been bothering me. They have that really gigantic sliced pizza. I need to go take some more photos when I go down there. Because I don't think a single picture really puts into consideration the magnitude of the pizza. Because it is absurd. I might even just get a whole pie while I'm down there. Just to take a picture of the whole thing. Because I don't think the average person comprehends how big that pizza is. It's not the biggest in the world, but it's one of the top, probably 10 or top 5. It's somewhere in the top echelon of them. It's definitely one of the bigger pizzas you can get in the entirety of the United States. It's definitely not the best pizza you'll ever have, but it's definitely way above the average pizza you'll ever have. But it's mostly the size factor that really does it. Like, relative to the size, the taste is really good. Because I feel like making a larger pizza makes it slightly harder to maintain the taste throughout. Whereas they do a pretty good job at it. Yeah, the place was like my childhood, too. I'm actually surprised they're still open. They've been around for 3 decades. I remember when they started, they were literally just like a random shack. Like this ridiculously small place. It's actually kind of insane, too, because you can actually see the line of where the building first was. And it's like this very, very small, like maybe 4 times bigger than my current room. Which is also pretty small, though you guys can't really see it. But like, it's probably like the area of my house, which is definitely not that big. But they kind of like started as that, and then they expanded, then they expanded, then they expanded, then they bought up the upstairs, and now they own like this entire gigantic building and the building next to them, because the building used to be a the building next to them used to be an arcade. But a lot of the arcades in the area kind of shut down as the place started to die down a little bit because of hurricanes and 3 fires and everything else that place has had to deal with over the last 2 decades. But yeah, just keep expanding. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they own the entire boardwalk at some point. They just keep expanding. Like they have upped their amount of space by about 20 times. Because they expanded 3 times on their current level. Once in one direction, once buying out the place next to them, once buying out the arcade next to them, and then they bought up the entire upstairs, which was like a whole different restaurant that they then just like bought out for their own use. And yeah, they expanded like 4 times then. It's kind of insane. Because they make good money. They make really good money. So they've just been slowly buying out everything around them. Very slowly, and just keep growing bigger and bigger. Alright, this should be enough time. Hey, double... unfortunately, getting a full value... Oh, also, I didn't really answer that question to whoever asked that earlier. I was mentioning a bunch of other things about Paloozas, but the main reason why you stall the 15-minute timer on the final battle so you get the full amount of loot. So there's a thing with Paloozas where you get a diminishing return on how many points you get. And normally, if you're doing like Quick Kill Explore 1, which you should be doing it at because it goes super quick, if you're doing that, you're only getting like 10 to 20% of the normal, the normal loot. However, so for example, this would have been 1 gem and this would have been like, what, 400 shards? However, when you do it on the 15-minute mark, afterwards, it will give you 100% of the loot. So the vault keys doesn't get affected by this, so I'll always just give you 1 vault key, because you can't round that down, so it always gives you the 1. However, this would have been only 1 gem, and this would have been like 40 shards, but because we waited to give us 5 gems and 200 shards, this one's not as good of a payout, because it got blocked mostly from vault keys, which isn't necessarily a bad thing either, but that's not a good example of showing it, but it does give you slightly more loot if you just wait it out the 15-minute timer exactly. And you normally only have to wait a few seconds, so it's normally worth it for the 100% loot. Anyways, how are we doing on keys? Was that our final one, or are we doing one more? I think we have to do one more. Let me double check where our numbers are at. Also, why am I checking pity? Well, I guess just a no. Where's our numbers at? Let's go double check. 400 on the dot. Oh, 400 on the dot. Nice. That's a good place to stop. No, we're probably gonna do one more. Let's see. That's a nice clean number though. Look at that. 400. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, counting pity, I think we're there. Though we're still gonna keep going. Just one more though. Let's go hand out a code and do one more Palooza tonight. Also, I forgot to update the other number. That is 19, I do believe. 19 Palooza. So that'll set us to a nice solid 20 Paloozas as well. Yeah, counting pity, we are only like 7 keys away or so from, or sorry, 8 keys away from halfway point. So let's go get those 8 keys. If we're counting epic vault keys and pity, we are 8 keys away from the halfway point. Then tomorrow we do the ultra grind. And I think we're gonna need 7 Paloozas if I did the math right earlier. Because we'd have to have, before I go look at it, how many Paloozas would we need? We need about 25 Paloozas, give or take a few, depending on how RNG goes. And we currently have 14, which means we have 13, which means, yeah, I need 12 more Paloozas tomorrow. So we have to get about 1 Palooza per hour in profit. Or, you know, back in some way, shape, or form. That are just a couple hours where we just grind for multiple. So, yeah, we'll need to do that tomorrow. Oh, yeah, before I forget, let me go clear out Explore 12. Get rid of this Mimic here. Hey, no problem, Coopster. Yeah, I completely forgot the second part of the question. I got sidetracked. Oh yeah, did I never hand out the code? Wait, let me go hand out the code. Speaking of sidetracked. Good old squirrel. There you guys go. Enjoy. There's redeem code. Use on gemsware.com for the game code section. Your invite code is under your settings menu. Redeem code's right over there in chats. Copy and paste random numbers and letters. And of course, give same loot as always. True treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, 2,500 gold. Enjoy, everyone. Oh, come on, click. There we go. I know, I needed that mana. Gotta be careful, those things can devour you at 1 to 6 chance. It's very unlikely, but, you know, they do happen. I go for a destroy. Also, thank you, Tyrion, for posting the link thingy as well. I got sidetracked on my sidetrack. Yeah, I'm getting... Oh, we got a Volkey from that. Nice. We're getting sidetrackception. Ah, there we go. Another Volkey for the pile. And of course, there's the code itself. True treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, 2,500 gold. Enjoy. Might want to save the gem keys for the next mythic. I don't remember if next mythic's even good or not, but a new mythic is better than a repeat mythic, regardless of how good or bad it is. Anyways, let's go run one last Palooza. Before I do, though, I need to go set my team before I forget. No, not that. Don't go to spring event. Go over here. Go to fight. Because I'm currently using Zulgoth, whereas I need to be using not Zulgoth. There we go. Perfect. 69. That's not a code. That's just Lester trying to be funny. Anyways, reset our team. Okay, let's go. Okay, this is the final Palooza of the night. Not to be confused with the final Palooza of the week, because we are only halfway done. However, this will mark the halfway done point as soon as we go finish this Palooza, so let's go do it. And then tomorrow we shall do the mega grind to go finish it all. There we go. But yeah, tomorrow we have to open approximately 25 Paloozas and farm for 12 of them. At a rate of 2 per hour, farming for 12 of them would take 6 hours, though some of that will be off-stream, hopefully. And opening 25 Paloozas would take approximately 7 to 8 hours. Which means that's more than 12 hours. Which is why I pushed the stream back to 12, because I need to get some before the stream even starts. Unless we get lucky on finding verse gnomes. Which could happen. Because otherwise, we have to grind for like 15 hours tomorrow. 12 of which will be streams. That's the approximate amount of time it'll take. Give or take a little. Possibly a little bit less, because I believe that number was for Vault Key total. We might have to do slightly less if we count Epic Vault Keys, I'm not sure. Because that assumes 1,000 physical Vault Keys. Counting Pity, not counting Epics. But if we count Epics, that's like a few less Paloozas we have to do. Which saves an hour or two. Like an hour of opening them, plus like a hour of farming them. And no problem for the code, everyone. Enjoy. And we'll have 7 tomorrow for the 7-year anniversary. I was thinking of how many we should hand out, but it's so obvious how many we need to hand out. We gotta do 7 for 7. It only makes sense. Which means we'd be handing out one almost every 2 hours next stream. With one just randomly thrown in there at some point. Probably near the end when we actually hit the 1,000. But yeah, pretty much every 2 hours next stream we'll have a code. With one going out when we finally hit the 1,000 mark near the end. It's gonna be pretty late though, because it's gonna be close to midnight my time. Also, it's amazing how quick time goes by when you're farming Palooza. Gosh, we streamed for almost 3 hours. Doesn't feel like 3 hours. Honestly, it felt like the standard hour, hour and a half stream. And we've done like double that time tonight. So much precious loot. We've also been talking about a lot of stuff. A lot of random things. We're like all over the place today. Celestial or Sacred Treasure? Ooh, that's a hard one. I would say Celestial. Sacred Treasure is nice, but so easy to get more shards. Whereas if you truly needed a few more Celestials, they're hard to kind of go out of your way for. Whereas there's pretty much always a way to go out of way for more treasure, underworld treasure. Celestial's a weird currency in Gems of War. You need it a lot earlier on in the game, and you still need it later on, but the things you use it for later on are kind of underwhelming. But it is very easy for us to hit 0 if we really try to.
Like, if I actively tried to hit 0 Celestials, I could within, like, a month. Obviously, we wouldn't want to do that. Especially if they had something that needs Celestials. But, they are a currency that can go down pretty quick if you just use them willy-nilly. Obviously, as you progress into the game, you use them pretty much exclusively for getting traits and, weapons. I believe mythics as well, here and there. But later in the game, you can trade them in, basically, for currencies, various currencies without the game. Most notably, orbs. You just consume so many of them to transform them into orbs, though. Like a ridiculous amount. Oh yeah, what account you got it on changed your answer? True. On a new player account... Oh, actually that's not... Actually, never mind. No, I think the answer would still be the same. Because if anything, a new player account would need Celestials even more. Compared to a late game account. And a late game account would also need Celestials more. Unless you were like trying to get every faction to like 200 or 1,000 or something. But no one has 1,000 every faction. I think there's only a single digit number of people who even have a single faction at 1,000, let alone all of them. Most people don't do that grind because it's just a waste of gold. There's no reason to really do it. Unless you are really committed to farming one single location in Underworld. Because gosh, you'd have a ton of stats. I can't even imagine how many stats you'd have. You'd nearly have 1,000 all stats if you went that far. Because you get 7 all every 25, plus you get the stats that you get every level up. Which means you are getting 1,000 stats along the way, just not on the same skill. But then you're also getting the 7 to all skills multiple times every 25. So how many would that be? Because 200 onwards every 25. So that would be 4 times 8. 4 times 8 is 32. 32 times 7 is... I cannot do that in my brain right now. 210... it would be 224 if I did that right. But 224 to all stats. That's a lot. 224 to all stats plus 1,000 stats mixed between all of them. Plus your base stats. You're at like base 600s by that point. If you had a level 1,000 faction. You'd have around base 600, 700 stats or so. I don't know if it's 600, high 600 something. Yeah, you'd have absurdly high stats. Though not quite 1,000 everything, though. Even with a max faction. Oh yeah, plus those extra percents you get from kingdom upgrades, too. I almost forgot about that. So maybe it would be closer to 700 something, though. That only increases that one stat, though. They don't actually increase the potions. The extra bonus you get from that does not increase the 7 all stats you get from the potions. Only from the other numbers that you get. From the one skill every level up. If anyone else has any other questions or anything you want me to go over, do let me know. Because we're probably going to be calling it tonight after this Palooza. Hey, Volky, epic Volky, nice. You don't have enough trait stones to worry about Celestial at the moment? I guess that makes sense. Because, yeah, one thing that's kind of weird is the two that you tend to run out of most when you're progressing through the game are not the highest rarity one of Celestial, but it's actually Arcanes and the common one. There's two reasons for this. One is the common one just requires so many for all upgrades, so you tend to run out of it. But the Arcanes is because there's so many different Arcanes in the game. So the common trait stone and the epic trait stone tend to be more of a bottleneck than the legendary one. I do recall that being a thing. Majors, they just give you way more than you're ever going to need. Ultra rares, you generally have enough relative to the amount of minors and epics that you have. And legendaries kind of just chill there. Unless you get a lot of mythics very quickly. You tend to not run out of Celestials as often in the early game. It really comes down to what your mythic rate is. Because the more mythics you get, the quicker you burn through Celestials. Also depends how many weapons you're normally crafting. As weapons also cut into your Celestials. Not a lot of them, but every few chips into them quite heavily. Over time. Especially when you're going from no weapons trying to get all weapons. You can burn through them pretty quickly. At least earlier on in the game when you don't have as many. But you're running out of majors? What's the major sync these days? Because I know when I initially did all the trait stuff, you had like 5 times the amount of major than like any other trait stone. Just because like everything used like none. Oh, you're just upgrading troops as fast as you can. Another Volky. Not sure why that Volky stood out to me, but it did. That one singular Volky. And we'll get to see what our numbers are. We're definitely above the halfway point. We'll be at 500 after this. And then tomorrow we finish the grind. Also, this is one of only a few times we actually went all the way for 1,000. I believe we've only done it 4 times counting this time, or 5. I'm losing track. I've done it a good handful of times. Also, how many is a handful? Numerically. Like, a handful can be taken in 2 ways. How many you can fit in your hand, in which case if the object is smaller, more would fit in your hands. But the other way of comprehending a handful is it means any number from 1 to 10. Or, you know, like how many digits you have. And that you can, like, count it on your hands, or in a single hand. Because handful from a numerical standpoint when referring to just something randomly is kind of weird, because normally a handful in a literal sense is how many of that object can you fit in your hands. But that is very size dependent. So if we're talking about something digitally, you know, a handful technically can't comprehensively do any number. Whereas if we're talking like a jelly bean, yeah, a handful of jelly beans is like, what, 30-ish before they start dropping off? Whereas like a handful of marshmallows, we're talking like 10, if that. Not even. Maybe like 8. If we're talking like a handful of water, depending on how we're looking at it, we're talking a number in like the tens of thousands, maybe higher. I don't know, how far do you go down on a molecular level on water? Like, are we counting how many H2O molecules are within your hands? Because I'm not sure what the ratio comes down to. But I'm pretty sure a handful of water is like hundreds of thousands of water molecules. I'm not sure what the exact breakdown is relative to mass. But that's a lot of water. That's a very big handful. Even though it takes up way less space than like other objects. This is the same handful. This is the same premise of the joke that broke us. No, it's not the same premise. That was a bit of a different premise. I know that it's measured by volume and not units. But I mean, if you were to count the number of H2O molecules in a certain volume of water, is what I'm referring to when I say a handful of water. Because, you know, something like marshmallow is not an element. So your measurement of marshmallow is generally in numerical number of marshmallows sitting in hand. Because you can break down water pretty far. Since water is a natural element. Or combination of elements. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Isn't Pixar doing that Elemental movie? I saw an ad for it. It seems kind of meh. It seems like the most cookie-cutter, play-it-safe movie, like they've been doing like crazy lately. Like, you already know the whole plot of the movie without even knowing the plot of the movie. Like, it's just that straightforward. Like, you can watch, like, 30 seconds of one trailer and know exactly what the entire 2-hour movie is. Down to, like, the scenes, probably. Because it's gonna go down, like, such a cookie-cutter route. Like, pretty much every single thing will be predictable. It's just an ultra-safe animated film. Not, like, even safe in, like, the rating, just safe in how it's structured. Alright, I'll throw that down. And now we wait. And then we get all the kills here. And they're dead. Hey, a lot of glory. Look at that. 500 glory, 500 glory, 5,000. Great to see. Wait, what's our other drop? Oh, that was all. Oh, no, the useless one. Alright, there we go. Stop the timer. Let's see where our counts are. Alright, final count on the stream. Tomorrow we do the other half. But let's see where we're standing right now. We're going to go get exact number on key total as well. So we got a 421. Nice. That means we hit 21. 421. Alright, next. What do we have here? Epic Vault key. That means we did, let's see, put an 8 there. Boom. So we got 3. That's pretty hefty. And look at that nice solid number. 20 Paloozas opened. Well, get ready because we got to do 25 tomorrow. Approximately, give or take a little. Or maybe not. Hold up. Wait. If 20 got us here, then don't we technically only have to do 20 tomorrow? Oh, wait, but that's counting pity. Yeah, we don't get as much pity, so yeah, we do have to do slightly more. Because, yeah, we have to do like 23 to 25-ish, like 25 we said earlier. Because, yeah, you have to account for pity. The only reason why it seems like we have so much more now is there's 49 pity, whereas tomorrow we're going to have like 70 pity total, if even that. So, yeah, our pity will have quite a bit of diminishing return. But counting everything, including pity, let's see, that brings us to 460 Volkies. And if you count Epic, that brings us to 508. So, yeah, we are halfway there officially. If we count Epic Volkies, which I am going to count Epic Volkies for sure by the end of this. But, yeah, we're currently at 508, counting Volkies and Epic Volkies. So one thing that might not happen by the end of this weekend is a solid 1,000 here. But the number gained here, combined with this, will be over 1,000 for sure. 100%. And that's what we're aiming for, mostly. But if we have time, we'll get a 1,000 number here as well, but we'll see. The main goal is just to have 1,000 between Volky and Epic Volky. Because that still means we got 1,000 Volkies to split between the two. And that's our main goal. And we're halfway there right now, 508. So it is counting pity, so this is diminishing return, but still, we got a lot of Paloozas on queue. We got 12 of them. Still need, or sorry, 13, right? Yeah, 13. We need to get another 12. So we need to farm for 12 more. We have 13, and that's pretty much what we need to do tomorrow. We need to open 25 Paloozas and find 12 more Paloozas, so we can actually go open 25 Paloozas, as we don't currently have 25. And if we do that, we will have 1,000 Volkies by the end of tomorrow's stream. And that's pretty much the game plan for tomorrow. We'll be starting at noon Eastern Standard Time. If you don't know what time is that in your time zone, if you're watching this right now, that is 13 hours from now tomorrow. So in 13 hours from now, we will be streaming. And, well, technically 13 hours, 4 minutes, but you know what I mean. In 13 hours from now, we will be streaming. And we are going literally all day for 12 hours straight, pretty much. And we're going to keep going until we hit the mark, which is probably going to take the entire duration, I would assume. I'm going to try to grind a little bit off stream between the streams to get whatever little bit we need in between. Anyways, guys, I will catch all of you guys later. Thank you so much for stopping by. And have a wonderful Vault weekend. Best of luck on the grind, as there's still a whole day left. About 30 hours remaining. Anyways, guys, catch you guys later. Thanks for stopping by. Enjoy your weekend. Stay safe out there. And goodbye, everyone. Thanks for watching.